Hey, Umar, where's the school you promised?
And Umar, where's the school you promised? Hey, Umar, where's the school you promised us? We're still waiting for that school.
Hey, Umar, where is the school you promised us?
Where's the school? Is the school gonna open, Umar?
Where's the school? Is the school gonna open, Umar?
Wait, you think I'm playing? Y'all hear that? Where's the school? They're still out there. Oh, good garbage, great. What am I gonna do? I tricked off all that money. Think. I tell them we applied for our certificate of occupancy, but the city turned us down. Yeah.
All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Appreciate y'all's presence. It's gonna be a quick live stream. I think we're gonna go for about an hour and a half. Let's say 2 hours. So we're gonna get right on into it. All right, let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought its personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right, thank you guys again for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Somebody said I sound like Stevie Wonder. I wish. He's my favorite singer of all time. He's probably my favorite musician of all time. That says a lot because I've had a lot of musicians that, and he's a songwriter, of course, as well, and singer. But I've had a lot of musicians that I looked up to over the years. But Stevie Wonder, hands down. We raised our children on Stevie Wonder. Yeah, I'm still having issues with my webcam. It should clear up once this once the sun sets a little bit more. So hope you guys can bear with me on that. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Everyone in the Cook Crush chat, I appreciate you guys. We had a wonderful live stream yesterday, wonderful live stream the day before that. I have a video. I think I'm going to upload it tomorrow just as a standalone video, and there'll be a chat room. You guys can watch it. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be, I don't think I'm going to be able to be in the chat room while it's playing. And then maybe next week, I'll actually do that video again as a live stream. I'm not quite sure. I just want to try to have stuff up here, more consistently. Because I looked at my schedule. I haven't really live streamed as much, as consistently as I have in the past, like over maybe the last 3 weeks or so. Maybe the last, 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, thank you guys again for tuning on in. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to get into Umar Johnson's most recent interview. He did appear on The Art of Dialogue as well. Those snippets of his interview, they're coming online. They came online today. I didn't get to watch them. I just kind of looked inside the comment section. And then, of course, last week, the big deal was Umar. He was on The Breakfast Club. At least the interview posted. Some snippets of the interviews posted on The Breakfast Club YouTube page, but then it's also on Netflix. I watched the version on Netflix. I watched the full version as well. And I went back today to look at the segment that they posted on The Breakfast Club, a small segment of where he's talking about FDMG, and people are still going in on Umar in the comment section. I've never seen anything like that since in all the years that I've covered Umar. I think that at this point, most people realize that Umar is a scammer when it comes to FDMG. When he's on The Art of Dialogue and he's talking about other stuff, people feel him on that. At least more people do. Right? There's still people who call him out on certain things. But when it comes to this FDMG school scam, more and more people, it's just globally, it's incredible the difference. If we go back 4 or 5 years ago, you can go back 3 years ago compared to today. And I just think more and more people are waking up, and people are tired of it. People are tired of him lying and changing the grand opening date and blaming everyone else and disrespecting Black people, disrespecting his donors. I'm going to get into that today. People are just tired of it. The best thing that Umar could do at this point is, because he's still a social media influence, he has a lot of followers on Instagram. What he should do is he should just give up this FDMG school scam and just focus specifically on lecturing or doing talks, and then continue with the podcast interview stuff. He'll do just fine, but he's used to having money come in from FDMG, the school scam. And as I've talked about many times in the past, that most of the money that Umar Johnson has collected, he's used for himself. In fact, there's over $1 million missing at this point. And some people may say, well, that's a lot of money. How could that go missing? But remember, Umar, he's been collecting donations since 2012 based upon his own words. I've had other people say that they donated in 2009, 2008, 2007, but this was for other FDMG related projects that Umar Johnson proposed but never came into fruition. But I'm going based upon Umar Johnson's own words, even though these days he's saying he didn't start raising money or collecting donations for FDMG until 2014, the spring of 2014. In the next segment of the documentary, I found proof that Umar Johnson was requesting donations and receiving donations in the form of land, based upon his own words, as far back as 2012. So if we really think about this, 2012, we're in 2026, so we're talking about 14 years. If you take $1 million and you divide it by 14 years, I'm not saying it's not a significant amount of money. I'm just saying that for Umar, who hasn't worked consistently since 2010, 2011, yeah, he can run through $1 million that's missing at this point over the last, 12 years? Easily. $83,333 a year. If we say $1 million and we let's go based upon what Umar, he's lying. He lies a lot, but we'll go based upon what he says. And since he's been raising money since 2014, well, it'll be in less than a month, it will be 12 years. So we can take $1 million and divide it by 12. Divided by 12. And that's, well, we just did that. It is 12 years. But again, we go back to 2012. It's actually 14 years. I gave him the benefit of the doubt the first time. Anyway, it's been a long time. Exactly, Blondie. It's been a long time. And that's not a lot of money to run through over the last 12 years if we go based upon when Umar claims he started collecting donations. But I have proof, and I'll provide the next segment of the documentary, that he was collecting and requesting donations and collecting donations in the form of land donated to him back in 2012. Okay. All right. So today, what we're going to get into is Umar Johnson's most recent interview. It's from yesterday. And there are some segments that I've clipped out because there's people who called in. I just clipped most of that stuff out because most time when people call in on these types of shows, they'll want to talk. They're not asking questions. But there was someone who asked Umar a question about the money. Okay. So I want to get to that for sure during this live stream. And then I also edited out any commercial breaks because there was long commercial breaks. And then I also edited in some segments just for people to take a look at that connects to some of the lies that Umar Johnson is telling inside of this interview. Okay. All right. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. Question: who founded Apple? Answer: Steve Jobs. What does that got to do with it? What does it got to do with it? What are you talking? What are you talking? Yeah, okay. Thanks, he's the 225. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Blondie, for being here. And Damon's in the building. Dr. Umar Ransom. Okay. How's it going, Courtney? Let me give a couple of shouts before we get in here. Max Ian is here as well. Thank you so much. What's up, Seth? Thanks for tuning on in. God's Little Princess, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Afro Punk's here. Sports bet, unemployed and upper middle class. Impressive. Hey, all right. What's up, David? Thank you for being here as well. Chastity is here as well. Thank you so much. Jay Will is here. Certificate of occupancy, that was 3 months ago. He ain't even mentioned it, so we'll just have to wait and see. Daxter also said, yo, Lenon, just, stop trying to help Jermaine, a.k.a. he doesn't deserve it. No, it's not that I'm trying to help him. That's not it. What it is that I'm always looking, because I've studied Umar and researched Umar for a long time. I've been fascinated with Umar, but I've also been fascinated with the potential for him to get things turned around. And there are specific things that he can do to get things turned around. Excuse me. And it would take a lot of effort. It would take time, and it would also take kind of like a restructuring of his life. I'm not sure he's willing or even able to do something like that at this point at the age of 51. But in my mind, I'm always thinking, okay, what is the next best step for Umar? And it's not just for him, it's for just people in general, even for myself. What's the next best step? So it's not that I'm trying to help him. It's just I would like for him to do better. And I would like to see him do better. I've been talking about this for years. Unfortunately, Umar, he believes that he's the Black Christ. He believes that he knows everything. He's arrogant. He has some narcissistic personality traits, and he believes that he knows everything, that no one can tell him anything. I've given him some great advice over the years. But one of the things very clearly to me that he could do, and it wouldn't take long to do, is to come forward to the public and just say, hey, listen, this FDMG project is not working. I'm in over my head. Yes, I did trick off. He doesn't have to phrase it this way, but I tricked off a lot of this money. I apologize for that, and I hope that people will forgive me for that. And then then he can say something like, right now, I'm just committed to getting my life turned back around so that I can present a better version of myself to everyone. And there will be people who would criticize him, and there will be people who would go in on him initially. But what would happen is that if he used himself as an example of someone who's at or near rock bottom, turns his life around, that would be a major and inspirational story for other people to see, and other people be inspired to get things turned around in their life too. It would take a lot of work, and Umar would have to be contrite and completely honest, which is he tends not to be. He's a pathological liar. But I always like to think of the possibility of what he could do to get things turned around, and not just for him, but for everyone. I just tend to think like that. Okay, all right. So it's not that I'm trying to help you. No, it is. I am trying to help him. I'm not trying to help him to extend this school scam. I'm trying to help him and help others. I'm trying to help others not to be scammed by him, but I'm also trying, and even taking advantage of him at different levels. But also, I'm trying to help him to see that there's a better way. It's a better way. Thanks, Daxter. Okay, let's get into this, everybody. So, Lenon, not only you criticize, he also gives hypothetical solutions, and I believe that's fair. Yeah, I do, and sometimes people think they feel, and that's okay because people have their opinion. Even in the chat room, they feel that I'm being too kind to Umar sometimes, and I get that too. But I would like to see him do better. I like to see everyone do better. Okay. All right. What's up, 100% real man? Shout out to Texas. All right. Yeah. Did I put a poll question on here? Let me see. I can't even remember. I don't even think I put a poll question. Okay, let me pull this up. By the way, our goal for today is 500 likes, because I don't plan on being here like doing a long live stream. I always say that it is being long, but we already have 131 likes, which is great. Our goal is 500. So if at any point during this live stream, make sure you hit that like button. Okay, if you're enjoying it. If you're not, that's okay. Oh yeah, there is a poll. 453 votes so far. Does Umar Johnson treat his donors with respect? So that's going to be the theme for the day because of the nature of the interview that we're going to watch here in just a moment. 96% said no, overwhelmingly, and we've shown plenty of examples of Umar, his levels of disrespect towards his own donors, and that's a huge issue because the type of support that Umar Johnson has received, he should be grateful. He should be thankful. He should have the spirit of appreciation. And I'll propose that if he did, he would have received a lot more support. You guys understand what I'm saying? If he had been forthright, if he didn't mismanage the money, if he didn't trick off it's got to be about $1 million missing. If he didn't trick off all of this money, he would have, if he showed something tangible or real that FDMG may become a possibility. I'm not talking about the smoke and mirrors and the illusion of progress, but something tangible and real. And also have transparency about the money. The type of support that this guy would have received would have been astronomical. But one of the major issues, including the issue of the lack of transparency, is that Umar Johnson, he's been so disrespectful towards his donors. So we're going to get into that during this live stream as well. Okay. All right. Okay. And then D. Will says, I understand you, Lenon. There are times I feel bad for the guy. Yeah, I do sometimes. But then he starts talking. Listen, I totally understand. Okay. And all that goes out the window. He's done this all to himself. And you're absolutely right. That's fair. It's a fair assessment. It's absolutely fair. And there are times where he gets on my nerves. There's times where I'm sitting back like, I can't believe he's doing people like this, including his donors, his supporters. But then there's times I feel bad for him. You know, like, because I've researched his history and his childhood was rough. I get that. Many of our childhood was rough, like in different ways. I get that. But he's had every single opportunity in life to be successful on many different levels. You know, I figure that if you spend 20 years in pursuing degrees and you have allegedly 6 of them, there's 5, but he says 6. I'll just say 6, whatever. You shouldn't have to be living like this. Homeless since 2019, don't have your own car, doesn't have your own place, living off of your mama in Section 8 housing, scamming people for a school that does not exist, sexually exploiting Black women, lying to Black people over and over again about this fake school. You don't have to live like that. And it's just so pretentious. You don't have to live like that. It's not necessary. So the point is that he's had every single opportunity, and he's received opportunities that a lot of other people have not received. And yet he squandered all of it. And then on top of that, he's received millions of dollars most of the money he spent on himself. Yeah, since 2012 at this point, 14 years. This is close, getting close to 14 years. So yeah, I feel bad for him sometimes, but then at other times I'm like, man, you know, and the truth is that he's 51, he's a grown adult, or at least he should be a grown adult. And at the age of 51, he has no excuse as to why he hasn't rectified many different issues in his life that has placed him in the position where he's at today, including, his predatory ways towards the Black community, including his mental health issues, including the substance abuse issues, including the sexual exploitation of Black women. So see, when I start talking like that, when I start thinking about those things, I don't have any sympathy for the guy. Because there's no excuse to be living like that. All right, anyway, thanks, D. Will. Okay, let's get into it, everyone. Here we go. So this is from yesterday. And Umar was interviewed by 2 hosts.
I tell you, yesterday we had a conversation about interracial dating. And we wanted to touch on the white supremacy of it all. If interracial dating is now the new way of white supremacy and being in control of what happens or controlling the narrative.
Okay, how is interracial dating the new way for white supremacy to blah, blah, blah? Interracial dating been going on for a long time. By the way, if you're African American or Black here in the United States of America, you're not just one so-called race, which is a social construct, not a scientific fact. But we'll play the game for the purpose of this live stream. Black people are multicultural and multiracial. This statement of fact. If any of y'all Black folk up in here, if you go and do your do a DNA test, go see what you find. And interracial relations has been going on for a long time. So yeah, there was a time where it was illegal in this country. I get that. But it's not like something new that's taking place that white supremacy is conjuring up for different reasons. Okay, anyway, let's go.
The Black community or even race or existence. But we didn't get in the weeds of how white supremacy can be the underlying effect of interracial dating. And I wanted to bring you on so that we can touch on that piece of interracial dating, or wherever you would take it as it relates to the white supremacy of it all.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you talk about interracial dating, particularly the surge of it that we've seen in the 20th century, and in even
I know I don't want to do that, but it's just the hypocrisy of it all. Because people, they will talk this global white supremacy talk, but then they dye their hair, blonde. I just, and it doesn't matter to me. I really don't care. You people, including you women, always say you do whatever you want to with your hair, because women do whatever you want. That's your business. But if you're gonna be about that talk, be about that life too. See, Umar, he's talking this talk about no blonde weave and no weave and hair extensions, none of that. Meanwhile, he was dealing with a stripper that had blonde weave. A lot of y'all, at least some of y'all don't know about that. Yeah, that's true. I know interracial dating or whatever, it's not a top Black issue, but this is what they're talking about here. It's like, whatever, but I'm just saying the hypocrisy of it all. I find it fascinating, especially when in these Black conscious circles, Here we go.
Greatest surge that we've seen with it after the presidency or during the presidency of Barack Obama, rather, we have to go back and take a look at the history. 1967 is when the United States Supreme Court outlawed any state rules that prevented people of different races to get married. So they completely done away with it in 1967 in the Loving versus Supreme Court.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But Umar, are you married? How about that? Are you even in a committed relationship? Anyway.
Decision. I believe it was the very next year in 1968, we would see for the first time a black person.
He would rather crush cookies, get donations, and paint over mold and keep this facade. Yeah, because it's easier. I don't mean to break this up, but it's easier. It's true. It's easier for him to do that, but it's not honorable. It doesn't speak to a legacy that's going to be respected. I mean, it's already not respected, but the point is that it's easy, and he's been doing this so long. I don't think Umar in his own mind sees that there has to be a better way. And there's always something, there's always the next level. So what's Umar's next level? But for him, this is what he's been doing: crushing cookies, getting donations, painting over molds, doing all kinds of, stupid inside these trap bandos, giving illusion of progress, and keeping this facade going. But he does it because of the money that he receives. So what's the next level for him, though? He's been doing this for such a long time. It's easy. He's used to this. I mean, if you do this, you haven't worked consistently since 2010, really, he wasn't working consistently since 2006. But give him grace, 2010, 2011. By that time, he's not working at all. He works he works in 2014, I believe it was. It might be 2017. I can't remember. I think it's 2014 for about 3 months. But for the most part, overwhelmingly, he's been traveling the world, crushing cookies, getting donations for a school that does not exist, and then giving an illusion of progress like painting over mold. That's an easy life to live. I mean, it's hard, but it's easy compared to settling down, getting a job, going to work, being committed to the job, getting to work on time, having your own place, having your own vehicle. See, just why not? He just live off the people's money. It's easy. Right? Thanks for him. It is okay. Black Mario, thank you so much for the super chat. YouTube5 says white supremacy. I'm Asian for black queens. What does that got to do with anything? What are you talking about? Do they think interracial only happens to white people? Well, that's the thing. This is more of a black conscious talking point, and it's not anything new. People have been talking about this for a long time. But what I always ask is, well, are you married? Are you in it, or at least are you in a committed relationship with a black woman? If you're gonna be talking like that. See, and what I've seen over the years in the black conscious space is that a lot of these dudes that be talking like this, they're not even married. They're out here crushing cookies. They're sexually exploiting these black women out here. I've seen it going all the way back to 1994. So the rhetoric sounds nice, I guess, within the construct of the black so-called black conscious community, but it's not something that I've seen a lot of in terms of in practice, wherein black men are committing to black women and marrying these black women and raising families. It's just not something I've seen a lot of. Does it exist? Absolutely, it exists. But I find it fascinating that people who use these particular talking points that Umar Johnson is using, these are overwhelmingly, these types of people are the ones who are not committed to black women. Not committed to one, okay, and not willing to marry and to raise a family, not even committed to their children. In Umar Johnson's case, he's a deadbeat. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
Kiss a white person on a television show, and that was Star Trek. That was on Star Trek, and then in 1975 on the Jeffersons sitcom, which was very popular in Black America, we see an interracial couple.
Yeah, the first interracial kiss, I think, was on Star Trek, the original series.
That is actually serving as one of the major couples in that sitcom. And that was the first time we saw a black man and a black woman in a limited mini-series on television. And then when we come to the turn of the 20th century, that's when the United States government adds biracial and multiracial to the U.S. Census for the very, very first time. Now, mind you,
Again, Umar, in my opinion, it doesn't matter because overwhelmingly, if you're African American and you are a descendant of slaves here, or even partially descendant of slaves here, because I have a family that came over from Africa, but then on my dad's side, I've done my family tree that goes back to that. It was a woman, a slave, and she was impregnated by the slave master. Way up the tree, right? But the point is that if you have a bloodline here in the United States of America that went through slavery, it's likely that you are quote unquote interracial, meaning that you have genetics from your African ancestry, but then also from European ancestry, meaning slave owners, right? It's extremely likely. So if you do your family tree, you're going to see that, right? Anyway.
Going back to slavery, we've always had mixed race Africans on the plantation. So that was nothing new.
Yeah. Well, Umar is part Cuban, and his Cuban ancestor, Cicero, I have the document I can show. I'm not going to show it to you guys. I may have it in a documentary, but his Cuban ancestor, Grandpapa Cicero, when he came to the United States of America, he didn't put black. You guys want to take a guess at what he put? I mean, Umar, he's so conflicted. I mean, he wants to claim to be a descendant of Frederick Douglass, who was quote unquote mixed race. He's not a descendant, but he doesn't want to go just a couple of branches up the family tree and address this particular issue of his Cuban grandpapa. Well, when his Cuban grandpapa put, I think it's his great grandfather, put in the paperwork, he classified himself as white Cuban. I gotta find it though. I didn't archive it properly, but there was a video where Umar was talking about, yeah, I do have an ancestor from Cuba. He was an Afro-Cuban. I said, this guy, cut it out. You need to stop.
At all, but it took America all those hundreds of years to add biracial and multiracial during the year 2000, and that was done strategically. It was on purpose to do what? Give black people of mixed parentage.
Shout out to our Cuban family too, by the way. Cubano, yeah. I used to play in a Cuban salsa band back in the day.
An opportunity to not identify with the black race, so as to reduce the population of black people in America on paper. All of this interracial propaganda you see has one goal: to reduce the population of black people on paper, and then to reduce the population of black people who identify as black, so that ultimately the United States government will not have to worry about reparations, historically black colleges, the NAACP, the Urban League.
Umar, he be coming up with some conspiracy theories.
Or any other black issue, because we may go down in history as the first people in world history who eliminated themselves by way of interracial dating and reproduction.
So this is just...
What are you talking about? This sounds like some eugenics type talk. We're the first. What are you talking about? To eliminate ourselves? What do you... It doesn't even make sense. Because up over here in the United States of America, this is how it works, okay? It don't make no sense. But if you have, it's called the one drop rule. If you have one drop of African ancestry, you're classified as black unless you could pass. There's a whole other thing going on for a long time because there's people that try to pass. I get it, whatever, okay? Anyone know about the one drop rule? So that's why even these days, if let's say a white woman and a black man got together and had a child, that child wouldn't be classified here in the United States of America as white. What would that child be classified as? In most cases, black. At least that's how society would perceive that child, as being black. So therefore, Umar, your conspiracy theory, it makes no sense because ultimately, and it's funny too, because there were people who used to talk about how the reason why white people don't like black people is because they're afraid of their own genetic annihilation. meaning that if black people and white people continue to have children, that ultimately, because black people have the dominant gene, that ultimately white people would disappear. Okay, so which one is it then, Umar? Which one is it? You can't be both. Anyway, it's a bunch of foolishness. It really is. Let's go.
It's an opt-in situation where if you identify, we have the one drop rule, which is not a law. The one drop rule says that if either of my parents are black, then I'm black. Okay. But in this case, you're saying that they would go from being black to being biracial or multiracial, and even on.
Hey, listen, everybody is. If you have ancestry that was most people, I would say probably 99% of people. I already talked about that. So that's a moot point what she's mentioning here. Okay.
The census in the 1800s, they were called mulatto. So if the generations that come after,
that term is actually still used in certain places too, by the way.
Are identified as other than black, then they are not entitled to the language that states that they are, if they are of black descent. Is that correct?
Yes, but to clarify.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the larger society is going to classify them as black. They're not going to be like, oh, that person is biracial. Again, it's all a social construct anyway. Race is a social construct. Go look up Blumenbach. It's a social construct, not a scientific fact. That's why even these days, you don't hear scientists talk based upon these racialized terms. They don't talk like that because they're educated. They know about genetics. They know about DNA. They also know about the history. A lot of people these days, especially now, they know more about human history, right? So a lot of this rhetoric is antiquated. It's rooted in a lot of there's a lot of Black conscious stuff back in the day would talk like this too, but it's not based upon science. It's based upon social constructs, and these social constructs weren't created by Black people or African people. A lot of these social constructs were created by Europeans. So why adopt that and then continue to perpetuate it to this day? And see, again, the larger society is not going to classify a quote unquote mixed child as being mixed or as being biracial. In general, that's not going to happen. The larger society is going to say, here in the United States of America, that child's black. All of it's a bunch of foolishness anyway. I'm confused. According to these Black conscious folks, aren't interracial people considered to be black? That's what I was trying to, so which one is it, So by that logic, how are they trying to eliminate Black people if you call them black anyway? That's exactly my point. It's exactly my point. See, it just, the logic fails when you think about it critically. But Umar, he still is, he's a conspiracy. I used to be a conspiracy theorist too. That's why I have a level of some compassion too, because I know what it can do to a person's mentals. I totally understand that. Right. But Umar, he still comes up with conspiracy theories. A lot of his stuff is conspiracy based. It's not fact based. Okay. Does that mean that the conspiracy theory is false? Not necessarily. But most of what he says in terms of conspiratorial stuff that he says, that's not rooted in fact at all. He's just coming up with shit. And this is another example right here. See, I'm always amazed at how in the Black conscious space, there's such a focus on racial identity, but that racial identity was given to Black people, not by Black people. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't make sense. The logic fails. It absolutely does. Good point. Thank you, D-Will. Xavier says, Umar giving relationship advice is like Stevie Wonder giving driver's lessons. You going to trust your eyes or you going to trust me? No, you got to bring up Stevie though. Umar, he will talk about anything. A person can ask him a question about astrophysics and he knows absolutely nothing about it, but he's going to come up with something. I'm fascinated about that with Umar. He'll come up with something every single time. And sometimes you be listening like, hey, that kind of sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He don't, but it kind of sounds like he does. That's the gift of gab. Umar, he has that. He's been like that for a very long time. And he does. He gives a lot of relationship advice. In all of my years of studying Umar and researching Umar from birth, I've seen most of his videos, not all of them, but most of them. I've taken notes on most of them. Is that factual? No, I can't say most of them. Close to half, but I've viewed the other half from 2019 to 2026. I just haven't taken notes on all of it. On all of that, but all the other ones prior to that, I've taken notes on. In all of the years, I've never heard Umar talk about being in a long-standing, loving relationship with a woman. Not one time. And yet he gives relationship advice. I ain't even ever heard him talk about living with a woman. Word. Living off a woman, maybe, but living with a woman, I'm talking about in a relationship, long term. I ain't even heard him say giving any of that. But he will run his mouth. Thank you, Xavier. What's up, Enterprise? Says interracial is more than a black and white. Country to country is the same. Yeah, I know it's a lot. All of it, especially nowadays, it's a lot more complex. I think this whole interracial thing, at least as a talking point, I just think it's antiquated rhetoric. People have been talking about this for a very long time. I think it's antiquated rhetoric. I mean, we live in a global society now. We have the internet. People are connecting. There's people who are connecting. They don't even know each other's language, but they're using apps to do translations, and they're communicating, building relationships that way. And I don't mean to go here, but there's fine women all over the planet. People got options. You got apps now and all this. I wouldn't recommend all of that, but I'm just saying people have options. So to have this restrictive orientation towards relationship, especially coming from Umar, who has never been, based upon my research, in a long-standing loving relationship with a woman, let alone a black woman. It's ridiculous. Good point. Thank you, Enterprise. User 25 says, ironically, white supremacists actually agree with him. Yeah, a lot of this rhetoric you can hear this same type of rhetoric from white supremacists or from back in the day, the Ku Klux Klan members and that type of stuff. White racist people here in the United States. This is how they used to talk. Ain't that deep? They're supposed to be your oppressors, but then you take on the language of the oppressors. That's why I don't be calling people Negroes like that. You know how Umar, he'll say, I may joke sometimes, okay? And I'll drop some N-bombs. I'm talking specifically about Negro. I don't do that. I may have done it a couple of times. Let me stop. I may have done it a couple of times. I can't remember, all right? But in general, I don't use that term because the way I've seen people in the Black conscious space use it to demean Black people. And Umar does it a lot. Anyway, hey, listen, I'm honest. Now I've dropped some N-bombs, okay? I have, okay? But in terms of calling people Negroes, I can't remember doing that. I may have done it once, maybe twice, 3 times a lady, maybe. All right. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking, Gogo. I'm not talking about the ninja. I'm talking about the Negro. Okay. Now I may have used it when I've talked about how Black people have been termed different things. First we was colored, then Negro or whatever. I can't. And then Black, and then African American. All right. Say Negro, please. I shouldn't do that. I mean, it's funny, but I don't appreciate it. Yeah, I don't recall, Your Honor. Did you or did you not? Oh man, y'all funny. I love y'all. Yeah, maybe. Okay, all right. If Umar and conscious guys won't respect or commit to a Black woman, they can't be mad if Black women find men who will. I agree. Amen. I don't think anybody should be waiting on nobody. If you have options, you know what I'm saying? That's just me though. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I got to change these batteries out. It's a good point though. It is, you know, cause you look at the people in the Black conscious space. I mean, we can throw out all kinds and look at Polite. Well, anyway, I mean, we can go on and on. Thank you, that's a good point. I agree. Okay, I gotta change this battery out. Let me let this play. Here we go. I'll be right back.
Queen. It's because they don't want to identify as Black. In other words, the government is giving them a out, because for every Black person of mixed race heritage who doesn't want to identify as Black, that's one less Black person that's get counted towards the race. That's one less Black person they have to worry about for reparations. That's one less Black person they have to worry about protesting against police genocide. There was a report that recently came out that says at the rate in which Black men are reproducing with women outside of the race, particularly Caucasians, at the rate in which we're doing this, in 40 years, most Black people in America will be biracial. And not only will they...
Listen, most Black people in the United States of America are biracial. Umar, what are you talking about? I don't get it, y'all. I really don't get it with this guy. Real quick, how many people? How's it going, Island Gal? Welcome. How many of you all? How many of y'all up in here? I don't even know how to ask this. How many of y'all up in here? You're 100% one race. Again, race is a social construct, not a scientific fact. But we're going to let's play the game. How many of y'all, if you are 100% a particular race, hit the 1. If you have different so-called racial mix, whatever, hit the 2. And for those of y'all who hit the 1, if there's anyone who hits the 1, I want you to go and do it. Go do a DNA test, because you're gonna be surprised, including you white people. The white people watch the show too. We, you know, it's all good. Good Girl Chat's a loving place. Yeah, some of you white people, you'd be surprised what you're gonna find. You're gonna be like, damn, I didn't know I was Black. Oh shit. We're gonna have to keep that secret. We ain't gonna. Anyway, I guess another question we could ask is, how many of us know someone who, I mean, it's just the probability, especially over here in the United States of America, yeah, and it's not just black and white though either. There's all kinds of admixtures, if you will, different groups of people. That's why I used to call United States of America like a melting pot. And somewhere down the line, y'all gonna find something that you may not want to see. So the point that I'm making is, you guys, some of you guys, someone said, what type of Chinese? Yeah, it's more than just someone being Chinese either. Because remember, this I've talked about this many times in the past. Chinese is not a race. What people tend to say is Asian, but Asian is a lot more complex than just Chinese. See, and just remember, back in the day, people of Asian descent, at least some of them, were classified as being what? The yellow race. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Racial classifications, it wasn't based upon DNA or genetics or anything like that. They were looking at phenotypes and cranial forehead size and cranial capacity. That's scientific. And phenotype, this kind of stuff. But that was called the yellow race. And there was the black race. I guess that's what I would be. And allow y'all in the Cookie Crush chat. There was the white race. What does that mean exactly? Over in Europe, they weren't calling themselves white people. Anyway, the white race. Well, at least at a certain point they weren't. Okay. White race. But there were other ones too. There was the brown race. That was more like people, like from Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands and Togo, and I guess you could even say some places in India, I guess. Or would that be part of the Asian race? I don't know. Have to look into that. And there was also the red race. That was the Native Americans. This is scientific, right? Did I miss any? Red, yellow, brown, black, and white. That's it. And for some strange reason here in the United States of America, we still hold on to black, and white folks still hold on to white. We don't hold on to the other shit, though. Why is that? Isn't that suspicious? All right. Let's go.
Be biracial. They will not identify as black. That is exactly what the power structure wants. They want a black population that does not identify as black, that identifies socially, politically, and otherwise with white folk, so that you can eliminate blackness as a concept, you eliminate blackness as a reality, and most of all...
Okay, well, it is a social construct in the first place. So what are you talking about, Umar? I'm going to say something real controversial, and some of y'all are going to be mad, but I'm going to say it. In my opinion, there is no benefit in this society here in the United States of America. There's no benefit to being black. I'm talking about socially speaking, because there's a social hierarchy here. A lot of people don't really talk about, but it is. Oh, it's so unfair. Yeah, okay, yeah, but life is unfair. If I was 6'10", I probably would have played some basketball. Would have liked to have done that. You see this hairline? Yeah, that's unfair. Oh well, what can I do? What am I going to get, a toupee? Or get me a man? What do they call it? A man piece or whatever because they be doing. Every time I try to say something serious, I got. I got to say something crazy. But life is unfair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I when I make love, I would like to go more than 3 minutes. Trust me, I would like that. But life is unfair. Okay, I just want. Whoa! Did I say that wrong? Oh, I'm sorry. It's a man unit, and that's what it's called. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Now, men, it's unfair because we be trying. We try our best, but that's women. That's y'all's fault. That's not our fault. Don't blame that on us. We try. We be up in that thing. Y'all don't understand how it feels. And, we can't help it. And we know it's coming too. We can't stop. We tried to, but we can't. Right? If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. All right? We didn't, that's y'all's stuff, so blame yourself. Okay? All right. I forgot what my point was. I forgot what my point was. I forgot my point, y'all. Anyway, I was gonna say something controversial. I don't even know if I got to say it. All right. Interracial is more than I got this story. Thanks so much. Ironically, white supremacy. I got that one too. Yes, sir. My lady is Croatian. Military love. All right. Hey, love knows no bounds. Okay. All right. Thanks, Enterprise. User 55 says, if Umar in conscious guy won't respect or commit to a black woman, they can't be mad if black. Oh, I got that one too. Thank you so much. China itself has many ethnicities. Yes. Han Chinese is the most common, but there are others. Examples, Manchurians from the Near East, I think that's what you're saying, are a different ethnicity. Yeah, it's a lot more complex. And same thing in Africa. It's not, because Umar, he says stuff like Africans. It's not like that. You know, there are people from Africa, they get offended. They get offended if you say, oh, you're African. No, they'll be very specific what country they're from. They may even give a tribe or an ethnic group. Very complex. Right? Well, it's complex here over the United States of America too. It's just that we tend to all be called black, but it's a social construct because there is a social hierarchy here. Yeah, is it tied to racism? Yeah. Is it tied to what people call white supremacy? Yeah, it's tied to that. I recognize that the game's not fair. But it's interesting that we adhere to these terminologies, and we may even defend the term. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but we adhere to this terminology and then we defend it, even though it's not terminology that we classified ourselves. Okay, we've been classified these things and not to our benefit at all. That was the point. That for Black people, there's no benefit, socially speaking, being classified as being Black. And it's never been in this country. Now, maybe in other countries, maybe, but here, no. Right? Now, is there a benefit to being called white? Yeah. We can look at Italians. There was a time when Italians weren't considered to be white. They were mistreated. Jews, too, mistreated. But then they received that classification. Things changed for them at a certain point, right? Because it's to a group of people's or even to a person's benefit in the social hierarchy to be classified as white. It's undeniable. All right. Thanks you to 225 for sharing that too. Yeah, Irish too. Yeah, Irish as well. You're right. This is true. Irish, they weren't considered to be white here in the United States of America. No, they are now. Is it to their benefit? Yes. Shit, I'm waiting for us, Black folk, to be called white. Why don't we just call everybody white? How about that? Because I've seen some Italians. I said, you know what? You need to go do a DNA test. Let me stop. All right. I mean, it's the whole thing is fascinating. Right? It really is. Okay. Lenon, a.k.a. Tupi. All right, y'all be clouding me. Thanks, Highway 20 Skinny. Thanks for being here too. In the streets, they call him Laser Fast Lenon. Lenon is the fastest cookie baker. Cookie baker in the country. Now, to be fair, I'm exaggerating a little bit. just a little, all right? Okay, let's get back to it. I'm Sicilian, and I always thought we were Black. I just did. And see, there's even I was thinking about. I kid you guys not, because I've been thinking about basketball, and for some reason, there's a basketball player that came to mind, because I was thinking about 3-point shooters, and I was thinking about 3-point shooters from back in the day, because nowadays everyone shoots. I'm going to bring it back to this. I apologize, but there was his name was Vinny Del Negro, but I think they called him Vinny Del Negro when he was playing. I thought he was an Italian basketball player. Let me see right now. Right here. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it's not saying. I'm surprised. Well, let me look it up another way. Yeah, he's of Italian ancestry. And I was always surprised because Del Negro means from Black, right? Negro meaning negro, right? Same thing in, there's people who are from Spain or they're Spanish and they'll have last names like that, right? So I always found that to be fascinating. Anyway, again, if you look at where Italy sits relative to Africa, you look at where Spain sits relative to Africa. You look at the Moors' influence in Spain and in Spanish music. People, go do a DNA test. You'll be surprised at what you would find. Anyway, see, and here's the thing. In this country, let's say, Allison, if you went and took a DNA test and you had some African ancestry, socially, you wouldn't be classified as being Black. But genetically, if genetics really played was the main factor, because of what they call the one-drop rule, you would be classified as being Black. Sounds strange, does it? doesn't it? But see, it also goes to show you that it's not science-based. It's not based upon genetics, social classification here inside the United States of America. It's not, right? It's based upon a social hierarchy, in most cases based upon a person's skin color more than anything else. Right? And more than anything else, because even that can't be exclusively applied, because there are people who are extremely light-skinned, but they're classified as being black because they have African ancestry. Make sense? Okay. Anyway. Yeah, shout out to the Italian folk. Yeah, the Italians have had a huge impact on a lot of things, especially in movie and film and in music, because a lot of Italian operas from back in the day was huge way back in the day. Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's get going here, because I want to have a quick show, but I done got blowed off. Lenon cookie delivery 3 minutes. Well, listen, it's always free, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, I'm just joking about all that, okay? Kind of, sort of. Yeah, they say, yeah, black people, we love pizza. That's right. Yeah, and I've always thought that, I think all women are beautiful, but Italian women, I think that they're beautiful. Not that it matters. I just want to say that. Okay, all right. Anyway, the food is really good. And I go on because my girlfriend, when I was 23, she liked Italian food, so we would go to this Italian restaurant. All right, Greek women too. Yeah, you know, I think Deanna Troy, I think she's Greek. Not to go here, but I think she's Greek. She was one of my biggest crushes when I was in high school. I might have been in junior high school when let's see. What's her name? Her name, it's not, oh, here it is. Marie. Yeah, I have that memorized. I can't even pronounce her last name. Marina Sirtis. She was born in London. She's a daughter of a Greek Cypriot parents. I'm not sure what that means. Cypriots, maybe from Cyprus, or ethnic Greek population of Cyprus, forming the island's largest ethno-linguistic community. Yeah, I always thought she was fine. Yeah, so she's Greek. Anyway, I always said though, all women be looking good to me. So y'all better be happy I'm married and stuff, because otherwise, well, I'll probably have me about 15 baby mamas and 14 kids. Say, Lenon, how did you get a hair trigger? But no, y'all be clowning me, boy. That's okay. That's all right. Thank you. Yeah. Black. Yeah, we love some Italian food. That's right. Ancestry DNA test says I have a total of, Ancestry DNA tests say I have a total of about 13% African DNA ancestry from various parts of Africa as a Mexican American whose parents are from Mexico. Yeah, isn't that deep? That's deep. Now, see, if racial classifications or even social classifications, because that's really what it is here in the United States of America, if it was science-based, because of the so-called one-drop rule, you would be classified as being black here, but you're not. So and the point is that it's not scientific. None of this is scientific. It's all based upon a social structure that goes back to not just slavery here in the United States of America, but it goes back to colonial Europe, because they didn't just do that up over here. They did that all around the world. So it's totally it's so unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, everybody love Italian food. Yeah, that's true. Women, y'all fine. You know what I'm saying? Lenon loves the olive skin women. I love all of them. Y'all look good. Y'all, man. All right. Okay. And then, okay, I got that one. Thank you. Thanks, Carlos, for sharing that too. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get back to it. Boy, we're supposed to have a quick show. We're already an hour in. Here we go.
To eliminate blackness as a problem for the American government.
And you eliminate blackness as political power.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely.
Yep. So
and this has some precedent too.
Now that's a good point right there that got me right there.
Well, wait,
Dr.
Umar, we gotta run the break real quick. You are cooking.
I'm sorry.
And I just opened the phone lines, so you guys, they're already calling.
Umar, he cooking Italian food.
Yeah. So anyway, you're listening to the afternoon show. It's Eva Buchanan LaDonna Ray, and we're joined on the live line by Dr. Umar Ifatunde. And we're having a pretty broad conversation about the effects of interracial, not just interracial dating, but dating superimposed in our media, superimposed in what we consume visually through our movies, through our news, through our advertisements, and it potentially being a tool of white supremacy. Like LaDonna said, we broached on this yesterday. So getting to all that, Doctor, I'd like to get into and I think I know you're qualified to talk about this, the psychology behind people Black people that you would say would prefer to opt out. When we look, what creates that mindset, I guess is my question.
I think you have a couple factors. Number one, let's talk about the Black church. Even though the pastor's wife may be Black, most Black pastors, and the same thing is true if we go to Sunni Orthodox Islam, in which I was raised, most Black imams in the church, in the masjid, in the Black community, they preach a colorblind theology mostly. It is very much about multiculturalism. It is very colorblind, to the point where Black people are made to feel insecure if they are proud to be Black. They're made to feel insecure if they do want to raise their children to marry Black people. For example,
I don't understand the logic here. Well, I guess there are Black people who feel I don't know. I don't feel that way. Maybe because I'm old, but I don't. And my kids don't feel that way either. I know they don't feel that way, but it's because how we raised them. We didn't. I don't get it. Anyway, let's go.
I've had several Black mothers tell me,
"What's up, Keontae?"
But they told me, they said, Dr. Umar, I can't tell my son to only date Black women because that goes against my religious beliefs. This is how
I agree right here, Marcus. Yeah, it's 2026. I can't get jiggy with the victim mindset. I'm sorry. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
The church and the masjid are brainwashing Black people away from being loyal to their race. And this is in complete opposition to the way Black pastors socialized their congregations 150 years ago. Remember, Bishop Henry McNeil Turner
Here
of the
he
AME
go.
Church,
He always bringing up
said God was Black. And he told Black people to only date within their race. If you go back to Richard Allen and a lot of our early Black liberation theologists.
Okay, let me be clear about something. God is ethereal. God doesn't have a skin color. But whatever. I mean, if people want to, whatever. Yeah.
They very much believe that Black people need to marry Black people.
By the way, I'm looking at my ancestry thing. I'm 44% West African, 25% Central and Southern Philippines, and then Celtic and Gaelic, it's 11%. I think that's on, because it's not on my mama's side. It's on my dad's side through his mother. That's 11% Celtic and Gaelic. It includes Central Scotland. Hey, I'm Scottish. Yeah. Northern Ireland. Hey, maybe that's why I like the Irish. Northern Wales. I don't even know where that's at. I think that's somewhere in England. Northwest England. I'm English. I'm 4% fucking English. I didn't, and in Connacht, Ireland, 1%. I don't know what that means. And then Central Africa, 4% Cameroon, 4% Western Bantu people. So what is that all together with the African, by the way? That's 44, 48, 52% African. Northern Spain, 3%. It says 3% Sephardic Jew in the Eastern Mediterranean. Eastern Mediterranean? Isn't Italy in Eastern? Maybe that's why. 2% North African, 1% Canada and the United States, 1% Southern Italy. And for some strange reason, 1% Sweden. All right. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to go and do your ancestors, because you'll be surprised at what you find out. 45% African. Next time, make it 50. Yeah. Next time, make it 50, man. That's hilarious. The Italian genealogy YouTuber, you got to. No, I don't have a crush on her. I just think that she's beautiful. So I have to stop watching because out of respect for my wife. I'm just like that. But I didn't have a crush on her. I just thought she was really pretty. And she's married too. She got kids and everything. So no disrespect. No. LenonHonor. Oh, that's hilarious. So I just want to add up all of my African part here, just because I want to see. So 15% Senegal, 11% Nigeria, 8% Mali, 4% Ivory Coast, 3% Benin and Togo, 2% Central West Africa, 1% Central Nigeria, and then Central Africa, Cameroon 4%, Western Bantu people 4%, North Africa 2%. I think that's everything. Yeah, so 54%. Right. Okay. McConnor. Yeah, Umar's 98% scammer. So I'm 12% other stuff. The 88% is all that matters to me. Okay. Umar's a 99.999% grifter. Yeah, me and my wife, we met on St. Patrick's Day. There you go. All right. All right, let's get back to it. This is fun. I didn't expect to get into all this.
But now, in this new post-civil rights era, you have the Black church pushing something completely different. And by the way, we're the only community that does not obligate its members, at least spiritually, to marry within the community. We're the only free-flowing group, which is why Black men date and mate outside of the race in this country.
Okay, Laurie is 93%
of every other community put together per capita. That is not a coincidence. That is self-hate. That is religious colorblindism. And it is also a very intense desire to
Umar's 100% Scandinavian.
be accepted by mainstream America. See, the white woman for the Black man, he is a symbol of his desire to be accepted by the white power structure. When she lays down with him, psychologically, he feels like he has been accepted. And so the white woman is the surrender flag.
What is he talking about? It don't matter what woman you lie, if you're lying down with, you're not thinking about, you know what you're thinking about. What are you talking about? That says blacks and Pan Africans. Oh my God. Pro blacks and Pan Africans are the only people who believe that Dwight is supreme. Yeah, and I've talked about this in the past. It's amazing to me. So there's all this rhetoric about white supremacy, but it frames white supremacy as being overwhelming, and that it's overwhelming and it's supreme, and that there's nothing that we can do to get over it. But how does that empower Black people? See, a lot of the rhetoric is based upon Black inferiority. It fortifies it, in point of fact. So how is that Black power? That's what I always say. It's not Black power. That's what you call Black disempowerment. The whole orientation, it's rooted in perpetual victimhood. That's the term I've used over the years. It's perpetual victimhood, right? And I've seen it over and over and over again. Umar does it a lot, and I have a sense that he does it because he wants to paint Black people in a subservient position so that he can position himself as a savior figure. I mean, he does that with Black parents with their kids. Like, you don't know what you're doing and blah, blah, blah. I'm saving Black boys. I'm keeping them out of special ed. I'm keeping them out of the school to prison pipeline, you know, but it's putting Black parents in a subservient position. And then he's the one who steps in because he's the savior figure. But what is it rooted in? It's rooted in Black disempowerment, or even Black parent disempowerment for that matter. See, I have a sense that a lot of these individuals who have roamed in and out of the Black conscious space, that's how they prey upon Black people. They say that it's about Black empowerment, but it's really about Black disempowerment. Thanks, Seth. Hope you're doing all right too. Okay, shout out to Seth. Here we go.
White woman is the Black man's surrender flag that he waves to the white power structure to say, you can trust me, I am safe, and I will do whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, that touches on kind of what we talked about early on, because when you see these biracial, should I say interracial relationships on the commercials or in a movie, it says, okay, this person, this black person has been vetted by this white person that they're dating or married to. Therefore, they are safe, and we feel safe as, not we, but they feel safe as to that around that person because they've been vetted. It's kind of like the same thing, almost like giving them validation or permission.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure what her point is. I'm not quite getting it. It's interesting though, but I'm not quite.
It's disheartening when we hear it, but then we can look around and we can see it because there's the conversations, they change. And I often wonder, what are the conversations like when we're in a heightened racial diaspora when it comes to the United States?
You know what them conversations sound like.
Like, are you sitting at the dinner table with your white husband?
What are you talking? Allison, what are you talking about? You said, I swear it was answered, but I'm doing it again. I didn't care for my results. That's funny. Dominique says Lenon has put down the flute to play bagpipes. Nah, I ain't never played no bagpipes. Okay. By the way, listen, people, don't overstate it now. It says here, okay, let's see, 1%, where is it at? It's 6% Central Scotland and Northern Ireland. So it's only 6%, okay? All right, I don't want people to take it too far, all right? All right? Okay. Thanks for the super chat. Brandon says, I know he ain't making light of other black men acting safe around black people when he was saying, yes, boss to the cops. Now, real quick, Brandon, I don't know exactly what Umar's point was, and I didn't understand what her point is either. But if that's what they were saying, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay. And yeah, I have a video where Umar, he was at a venue and they were checking the cars and checking people's belongings before they allowed them in. But Umar tried to act like it was some big deal, like they were targeting him. No, they were doing that to everybody. And you guys should have seen Umar's demeanor towards this police officer. Because I remember in the first documentary, some of you guys seen it, Umar, he was talking about that we need to take the police officer's weapon and unalive them. That's the type of rhetoric Umar was spewing back in the day. He got a lot of backlash for that. It was reported on the news, in point of fact. But when he was in front of that police officer, you guys should have seen how timid Umar was. Then he was like, hey, boss, you want me to clean that up for you? Or something like that. I said, Father David was like, Anyway, he said something like that. Yes, boss. All right, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, that was crazy. But Umar, he's marshmallow like that. He'll talk that talk, but he ain't about that life. All right, thanks, Brandon. And then Miranda says, hey, Lenon Cooker said, I'm late to the party and looks like I've missed some good laughs. Yeah, we was cracking up. We was goofing around. Good laughs. I know they will continue. I truly enjoy the show and my Cookie Fresh Chat fam. Thank you so much. Yeah, I enjoy it too. I want to thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I always look forward to it. Okay, I just wish I had more time. If I had more time, I'll be up here every single day. We would do other topics though too, just to kick it. But it's always an issue of time with me. Thank you, Miranda, okay, for the super chat. And thank you for tuning on in. All right. Okay, let's get back to it, everyone. Let me check on this poll too, by the way. I haven't checked on it in quite some time. Let's see here. So the poll question, does Umar Johnson treat his donors with respect? And we'll get into this a little bit later on. 95% says no, 5% said yes. And then we have 358 likes so far. Our goal is 500. So it looks like we'll be able to get that. Okay, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button. Not only does it help in terms of the optics, but it helps with the algorithm as well. All right, here we go.
I'm saying these people, you know, you have to filter everything, or do you say I'm all in?
Leonard got bunny in him. Listen, all y'all do. If you black, you got answers that from here that was slaves. Oh, everybody does. Go do DNA test. You'll see. I didn't tell. That's why you like them white women. I'm just playing, bro. Y'all just playing. I'm just joking. Or am I joking? I don't know. Here we go.
Let's go ahead and get to these callers, Dr. Umar.
Yeah, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
One.
Yeah, but first of all, what's disturbing to me? Well, first, I don't even watch television. But if black people are depending on television images, when I heard that yesterday, I'm honest, I love y'all's show. I hung up because the images should be in your family. Look at, I have beautiful nephews and nephews, all of them. There's not a black person in our family. But see, that's not the image they see. But this is disturbing. Oh, little white folk, they got the image. But see, majority of black people.
The host is like, will you get to the point?
And that's what I'm saying. If you continue to blame white folks for your problem, and most of people will, I don't have to. But they are going to get the same outcome if people promote, and I respect you, they promote that, and black people.
He has a good point. He has a good point. It's just that he's not. Coco, you tripping. You said Lenon got a pot of gold. I wish I did. If I had a pot of gold, boy, I'll share some of that wealth with y'all, family. No, this guy, he has a good point. It's just he's not articulating it and articulating it in a fashion that it's just not. I don't understand. That's all. No, it's not Father David. This is Father David's cousin. Here we go.
Dying in that, they're gonna live a same degrading, regular.
Wait a minute, is it Father David? You know what? Swagonito, you might be right about that. Let's listen a little more closely. Let's see.
Lifestyle. Quit blaming white folks. You live in terrible lifestyles.
Okay, thank you, Ron. We appreciate.
No, that's Ron. Hey, Swagonito, that's brother Ron. He don't like Umar no more. You know what I'm saying? That's brother Ron from the what you call it, the Boys and Girls Club. Let's go.
It. I'd love to get your response, Dr. Umar.
Yes, indeed. I understand what he's saying, and I do agree. However, we have to understand that a big reason why we don't see examples of healthy, successful black-on-black love our children is because a lot of successful black people, they move out of the black community. So our children don't really have a lot of role models that show black-on-black healthy love, because most of your doctors, your lawyers, the engineers.
Yeah, Umar, you haven't shown that. So what are you talking about?
They tend to marry each other.
My wife and I, we've shown that. So what are you talking about, man? It don't matter. See, he can talk that talk, but he's not living that.
And after they get married, they move into a white community, even if they themselves.
No, it's not him, because we would know right away. I mean, it sounded like him a couple of times, but we would know. You know, Father David, he's unique, right? That's Father David in disguise. Thanks, TJ. Let's go.
Have a black spouse. So we have to look at the scarcity of role models that show our children healthy black-on-black love. Because if you are 20 years old today or 12 years old today, most of what you see on television is either same-sex romance amongst black people or interracial dating amongst black people. And let us be clear about something.
To be fair, there is a lot more, because I even noticed there's a lot of these shows, because my wife be watching these cooking shows, and it's different. They be having lesbians, gays, it's different. Back when we was kids, we didn't see that. But it's 2026. It's different. But there was a time there wasn't no black people on TV too. It's different. But if it's such a big issue, why don't you live an example, Umar, of someone who is heterosexual in a committed relationship with a black woman and married with children? No, you're a baby mama creator. This man is an imbecile. All of the evidence shows that black people mostly date black people and usually have some of the most active parents. What Umar historically and traditionally what he does is he always uses the worst examples or representations of black people in his rhetoric. Just like someone was saying earlier, it's like white supremacist talk from the 1960s or 1970s or 1950s for that matter. So he makes it seem as if black children don't see good examples of black love or committed relationships between black men and black women. Listen, real talk, I didn't see a lot of it growing up. At least as a child. As I got older, I saw more of it. But Umar always goes to the extreme because it ties to it. I think this is what he's trying to tie it to, this notion that one of the reasons why we don't see these representations as much is because of the homosexual agenda and because of the snow bunny crisis. Okay, this Umar. I'm not saying that. I think that that's how Umar's trying to tie this stuff together. That's why and so that's why we see these representations on the TV. They don't show a lot of black people in black love. No, it's on there. By the way, Umar, we don't have those big back TVs anymore. It's streaming shit. So whatever you want to find, you can find it. When we was kids, you couldn't find. You had to watch what came on. Hit the one. So if you want to go see some representations of healthy black male-female relationships, you can find it on you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Netflix. You just got to know where to look. Do they got other representation stuff on there too? Yeah. But if it's such a big issue, just don't watch that stuff. Watch what you want to watch. Anyway, it's a good point. He always, it's not about facts with Umar. It's about painting a narrative. And in order to paint that narrative, it's always black disempowerment. And it's always the worst case scenario for black people, whether that's in the school system, male-female relationships, in the world of politics and economics. The list goes on and on and on. Thanks, Brandon. Xavier says, Umar know everything except raising his kids. Yeah. See, that's what I was saying earlier. He'll have an opinion on everything. He does. You can ask him something he don't knows nothing about, but he'll find an answer for it. But he ain't raising his kids. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, Umar doesn't care about his kids. Umar doesn't care about people. That's what the issue is. He just don't care. It's a mental emotional problem with Umar. He don't care about nobody, including his own kids. And yet he want to tell black people and disparage black people about how they don't know how to raise their kids and why want your kids going home back home to you for you part of the problem. You got really Lynch all in their system. Blonde ass weave like Beyonce. But I want them going home for you part of the problem. They're gonna stay with me in the dorms. That's what he said. Paraphrasing. This goes back to what Brandon was saying. He always picks the worst case scenario, worst representation, but it's always disparaging someone else, and in particular disparaging black parents, yet he ain't raising his own kids. I have that clip too in this video. Watch, I'm gonna play it in a little bit. Thank you, Xavier. What's up, James? Says, why do you gotta be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer to show healthy love? Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, right? See, Umar has this idea that people who are professionals, black professionals, that they inevitably leave the ghetto. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Don't nobody want to live in the ghetto unless they have to. And even people who have to, most of them don't want to live in the ghetto. Most white people who live in trailer parks, they don't want to live, most of them don't want to live there, but maybe they have to. But if they didn't have to, would they like to live someplace else? So Umar, the whole idea is not about upward mobility for black people, including black professionals. Everyone has to be stuck in the muck and mire of poverty and crime and destitution, if you will. That's supposed to be black empowerment? That's black power? No. See, and Umar is fascinating because Umar, he puts the onus on these black professionals, and yet he's supposed to be a black professional, but what is he doing inside of his community? Living in his mama closet in Section 8 housing. What is he doing up there in Wilmington, Delaware? Sitting on the trap banners now for 7 years in the community up over there, impoverished community. Yet he expects everyone to stay immobile. And yes, Umar with his so-called 6 degrees, it's 5, but let's just say 6. He's not upward mobile. He ain't nothing but a pookie. He's a bum from Philadelphia to this day at 51, living off his mama. And yet he will talk. And then when he talks about the doctors or the lawyers or the engineers, he talks about how they leave the black community and as if they're the only ones who are able to show healthy black love. See, the only person who's going to talk like that is someone who's not showing healthy black love and who's still stuck in the muck and mire of the hood. Who's that? That's Umar. And he's doing it with 6 degrees, including a side D. Thanks, James. Good point. Yeah, Umar, he's a trip. There's nothing empowering about what Umar talking about. Let's go.
This is being pushed by the government. This is government. The same government that once had an entire system of Jim Crow to keep the black man away from the white woman is now pushing them together because he's figured out the...
Yeah, he'll take the black money. He sure will. Yeah, he'll disrespect the black HVAC worker. He even disrespected Brother Jose, who's Latino, allegedly. Umar, he'll disrespect anybody. It don't matter who it is. What's up, your kids? Shout out to everybody, too. And the Cookie Crush chat, and thanks to the mods, too. What's up, Afropunk? Thank you for tuning on in. I appreciate y'all. What's up, Sports Bet? Lenon, do you think Jermaine would have been a better father if he had 3 boys instead of 3 girls? No, I don't think he would have been a better father, but I think it would have appeased his ego more, because it's all about ego and narcissism with Umar. This is a great question, though. I've never heard anyone ask it. This is a really good question. No, I don't think it would make a difference because he doesn't care about anybody else. He doesn't have feelings for his children. And there are, I don't even want to call them parents, but there are parents who are like that. They don't feel any type of way towards their children per se. I'm talking about anything loving or caring or compassionate or sympathetic, none of that. Some parents, they see their kids as obstacles. So there's parents, they wish they never had them kids. I don't get that. They wish they didn't even have kids. Well, Umar, I don't think he feels, he's a sociopath. He has no empathy. That's part of the narcissism. I don't think it would have mattered, except that I think it would have fed his ego more, this whole thing, the machismo about having, a son. This is my son. Yeah, I got sons, blah, blah, blah. But it's not about, love or raising them right or bringing them up. And it's not about that with Umar. So I don't think it would make a difference. See, Umar, he has so many other underlying issues. He's not equipped at 51 to be a parent. And I'm not just talking about materially. I'm just talking about psychologically and mentally. He's not equipped to be a parent. See, I mean, it's actually possible, and I don't know this to be, I'm speculating here, but it's possible that he will never be, and that he never was, and that he never will be, because there's so many underlying issues. If you don't feel compassion for other people, how can you be a parent to a child? If you don't feel love for anybody else, how could you be a parent to a child? I'm talking about a good parent. And again, parenting it's no one's perfect, and it's just a huge learning lesson for all of us. Any of you all have kids, you may think and I thought you're gonna learn some things. You're gonna learn some stuff about raising kids. You're gonna learn some stuff about yourself. You're gonna have to fix yourself along the way. But Umar, the fixing that he needs is astronomical. So I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think it matters even to this day. And see, the thing is that if it mattered today in 2026, Umar would have already made inroads back into his children's lives, and he could have done that 2025. But that's not even what he did. In fact, Queendom, if you guys look at the full Breakfast Club interview, he goes back in on his daughter. Thanks, Hustle Girl. Hustle Girl said my beard looked very nice. I appreciate that. Cuba Tunde. All right. Someone said Cuba Tunde. All right, here we go. I thought I was going to start dyeing my beard. That's what I should just try to be like Umar, but that's okay. Here we go.
One thing that Black people will help us do with regard to their elimination and genocide is they will date outside of their race. We see Black men love women who are not Black. Now, don't get me wrong. Most Black men do date Black women, but they date non-Black women more than any other group. And if you go to Latin America and you look at the bloqueamiento policies that was adopted in the Dominican Republic, that was adopted in Cuba, that was
What's it got to do? What do you
Adopted
all over
in
the
Puerto
place?
Rico? What did the government do after slavery ended in those islands? They brought white people into the island to intentionally procreate with black people to lighten up the skin. And once the black skin got light enough, they then gave black people the right to identify as white. And once black people saw that if I get light enough, I can actually identify as white, everybody started dating outside the race to lighten up their skin, to give their child a better opportunity. That's the same thing America is doing now. We are living through America's blockio mental policy.
Interracial dating been going. What did this just start in 2026, Umar? Interracial dating? What are you talking about?
Wow. We are talking to clinical psychologist, school psychologist, and Pan Africanist, and one of the most talked about cultural commentators in the country.
Oh no, I ain't gonna. I'm just playing. I ain't gonna die. I ain't got time like that anyway. I ain't got time. Listen, I don't even be looking in the mirror unless I got to shave. That's it. But if I don't got to shave that day, I ain't got time. Plus, I'm old. Anyway.
Umar Ifatunde, and our subject matter is interracial dating. How white supremacy has its hand in it, and what is the deliberation of the intent of why this is happening. Let's go ahead and get to our callers because we got a lot of them. Django, you're live.
Did she say Django? What in the world is going on? The Django done called him. Yeah, it has. It's been going on for thousands of years. Yeah, you know what I think, and again, this is what I mean by it's not scientific. And Umar, he's taking modern society as, and this is the example of so-called interracial dating or interracial relationships. If people want to buy into the notion of race, which is a social construct, they have every right to do so. It's not a scientific fact, but I can play the game. Right? If you think about it, interracial relationships and interracial dating, if you want to call it interracial, has been going, and that's why there are groups of people that exist now. They exist now because of interracial, so-called interracial dating that was taking place 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 years ago. But Umar, he's acting as if what's been going on, I guess, since the 2000s, that this epitomized all of it. No, that's not the case at all. See, people can start asking questions. Why do Samoans look like they look? And not that they all look the same, but I'm just saying, right? Why do people in Saudi Arabia look the way that they look? Why do people in China look the way that they look? Why do people in Italy look the way that they look? And depending on where you're at in Italy, they're going to look a little bit different. Even skin colors are going to look a little bit different, right? Another excellent example is down in South America. Why do Native Americans look the way that they look? And do they look the way that they look now? Did they look the same way, let's say 200 years ago, 300, 400, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago? Here we go.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Greetings, LaDonna Ray, Atiba, Dr. Umar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, as you were talking, Dr. Umar, I was thinking about the saying which goes, self-preservation is the first law of nature for a reason and in every season. That goes for myself, yourself, themselves, and ourselves. So it's an issue of self-preservation. And if it's the first law of nature, then Black folks are suffering as we are because we're in violation of the first law of nature. So anyone who would try to push that interracial dating,
I just have to say, the notion that the law of nature is self-preservation, it's a false equivalency because we're talking about, it's not just the individual. What I'm getting at is that if I approach my life as just simply self-preservation, then I would be selfish. I'm not thinking about my wife. I'm not thinking about my children. I'm thinking about their preservation too. Anyway, just a thought that came to mind.
Should be happening now when we haven't even gotten ourselves together yet. I think that's the biggest issue.
Maybe in the wild, maybe, you know, lion, tigers, and bears. But human beings, I think it's more complex than that.
It's got to be about self-preservation. So Dr. Umar is correct in just saying we have to look at things from a futuristic standpoint as well. As Malcolm said, the future belongs to those who prepare for it. So we are dealing with this reality today because 20, 40 years ago, we didn't prepare for it. So Dr. Umar.
Oh, you just running your mouth. Cut it out. He just wants to talk. That brother on the left looked like he ain't feeling this foolishness. I noticed that. He was looking over like, okay. That happens sometimes. He doesn't say anything to challenge Umar, though. But that's par for the course with a lot of these interview guests. But it's true. There's times where Umar's being interviewed and you can tell that the host ain't feeling him. There's been times with Father David, I could tell. I mean, it's been rare, but there was a couple of times that Father David challenged Umar, a little bit kind of challenged Umar. But in this case, I'll peep that too. Thanks, D. May also says, I'm in my 50s. These talking points are decades. Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I'm 50. So, yeah, these are old talking points. In fact, you can go. I mean, there's even videos of Malcolm where he was taught. Some of his talking points were kind of in line with this. He evolved later on, but you can actually still find videos of that online if you look. You probably got to look harder than you might want to, like speeches and stuff like that. But he evolved over time. The point being is that a lot of these talking points, they are antiquated. Okay, we're in 2026. We have access to the internet. People are meeting each other from around the world. I mean, you can go get on a plane today, and sometime tomorrow, you can be on the other side of the world, meeting people that you ain't never seen before. Okay, if you're a man, you see women up over there. You ain't never seen a woman look like that. Okay, all of them look good, but wait, they look good over here too. And nature calls, right? You're a woman, you get on the plane, you go up over there someplace or other side of the planet tomorrow. Meet a man over there. You ain't never seen no man look like that. See, back in the day, it wasn't like that. I'm talking about 100, 200, 300, 400 years ago. It wasn't like that. You had barriers in the way. I'm talking about even physical barriers, mountains, lakes, rivers, streams. You know, I mean, all the way across the board. You have to deal with the elements. You're trying to get somewhere. These days, it's different. And on top of that, you got the internet. You got access to the internet. You can communicate with someone instantaneously on the other side of the planet. We didn't have that growing up. They definitely didn't have it back in the day, 100, 200, 300, 400 years ago. So it's a whole other time, you know? And so a lot of these talking points, especially if you're older, you've heard these talking points before. They're antiquated. And Umar, he's so stuck in the past. It's incredible. U225 says clinical psych, school psych. He is neither. I know, but Umar says that. See, when he says that he's a clinical psychologist, what does that mean exactly? See, I haven't found any evidence that Umar ever had a practice as a clinical psychologist. Now, he was a school psychologist. He was a principal, and he allegedly was a vice principal too. But a clinical psychologist? No, he never was. He was never licensed as a clinical psychologist. He never worked as a clinical psychologist. But because he has a PsyD, that's why he calls himself a clinical psychologist. But just because you have a degree in something doesn't mean that is what you are. Someone had broke this down too. They said just because you get a law degree doesn't mean that you're a lawyer. You still got to pass the bar. I said, hey, that's true, huh? Right? Thanks, U225. And thanks, May. Craig Air Force says, why is there no website? Why there's no website for FDMG Academy or sneak peek video inside the school? I've been asking that question for years. Now, the closest thing that Umar Johnson ever had to an FDMG operation, functional, and it wasn't even functional. That's the thing. I'm giving him too much credit. He had a website called Umar Johnson School. It might have been Dr. Umar Johnson School, but I think it was Umar Johnson School. And in my research, I found all of that. I have screenshots of it. I also have when he first started talking about this website, because it correlates to 2014 when he's talking about how he wants to raise money for the St. Paul's. I can pull the video. He wants to raise money for the St. Paul's College, and then by the time, actually he was talking about it before that. He was talking about that in his when he was in San Diego at the World Beach Center, and this was in 2013. He was talking about how he was going to set up a website. The website didn't come along until a lot later, but it wasn't functional in terms of a professional website. By the way, Craig, I don't know if you saw, I think it was yesterday's live stream. I didn't pull up the actual website, but I looked at it while we were, someone had said, Michael Blackson, he's a comedian, that he opened up a school, I think in Nigeria or Ghana, I can't remember where. And I went and looked it up, and the website, if you go to the website, is professional. It has everything that you would expect to have for a project like that, because he opened up a school up over there. All the information that you would need, and yeah, and including a donation thing too. Do you want to donate? But it tells you exactly. There's a mission statement. It gives you information, who's involved, all this stuff. Okay. Umar never had that. What he had, it was more like a landing page more than anything else, but it wasn't professional. And at a certain point, he put a passcode on it so that it was password protected. But the information on that website, it was basically a landing page for people to donate, but it wasn't structured in a way to where people can get the information that they needed. Because Umar at that time, he hadn't even gotten that far, thought that far ahead in his own mind to think, okay, what do I need to have on this website? It should be a professional website. No, it wasn't. It did not have a board of directors. It did not have a mission statement. I'm talking about a mission statement that made sense in a professional sense if you're going to be doing a project like this. Right? It didn't have a step-by-step process of what was going to be taking place as Umar got these donations over time and what the steps were going to be in order to bring this project into fruition. None of that. No timeline for completion. That's the closest thing that Umar Johnson had to a functional website. And here we are. We're in 2026. He has nothing. Anyone, if you're thinking about starting a business, you secure the domain name and you start building the website. And you can do it with AI now. So that even if your business isn't open, you already have the website and set up and you're building it so that once it opens, or even before it opens, you have the website set up and it's professional. And everything that a person needs to know about your business and what you're offering and why it's important, why this product or service is going to be important, what they call, I can't remember what the term is, the proposition, whatever. All of that should be on that website. Umar, he never bothered to actually put together something that was professional. And what's crazy is, and then he did have something that was bootleg. What's crazy is that there were people who offered Umar their professional services to get his website done. And one of the brothers, rest in peace, was Brother Marion. He's not serious about opening up a school. And see, real quick, Craig, Air Force, if Umar had done that prior to collecting donations, he could have used that as a hub to update people over time, have a tally on how much money he's received. And he can update that every single day or once a week, whatever the case may be. He never bothered to do that. I'm talking about a professionally done website, but Umar never does anything on the up and up and professionally. It's always bootleg. And here we are in 2026, not a website in sight. So anyone who thinks that he's serious, no, he's not serious. He never was. And of course, by now, if he had a website, he should have had a sneak peek video of the inside of the school with completion, renovation. But the problem is the renovations aren't completed. He lied. All right. Thank you, Craig. I lose it when Lenon says, "What are you talking about, Umar?" Yeah, I say that a lot because Umar, he be talking and it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Is he just run off the mountain? And I'm trying to understand. Trust me, I'm always trying to make sense of things. Even people be talking crazy, I'm trying to figure it out. Even Father David be talking. I'm like, what are you? I'm trying to figure this out. I try, but I say that a lot because of some of the stuff Umar be saying. I'll be like, what are you talking about? I think I say that in general though. Okay. Thank you, M4RK1E17. I think it's Markle 17. Thank you for super chat. Goddess Noel says, y'all know good and well Umar is not going to pay every month to have somebody host a legit website. Just hit the pay. Well, he don't pay bills, but it's so easy. It really is. It's so easy. And if you get millions of dollars, you shouldn't have a problem, having your website hosted, $80 a year. You can get it less than that nowadays. I remember it was like $6 a month, long time ago. So maybe a little more. But anyway, I don't even know what I pay on. I don't even use my website anymore. I need to update it. But the point is that, it could be argued that Umar wouldn't kept up on paying it, but he could have just set it as auto pay and set it up on an account, a separate account, and just leave the money in there. And that's a business expense anyway. But it's ridiculous. There's no legitimate reason for him not to have a website in 2026, especially when people have offered to do it for free. Yeah, someone also says that he doesn't even have a social. Yeah. And thank you, Goddess Noel. This is a good point too, right here. No website or social media with the school. That's crazy. That is nuts. Is there an FDMG Academy Facebook page? Why not? Maybe it is. I ain't never seen it. What about Instagram? He could just set one of those up and just post pictures, and he could have been doing this for years and do videos. He could have been doing this for the last 7 years and use social media as leverage to get people to donate more money because it's showing improving. But no, not Umar. No social media. Not that I've seen. Now, if someone else has seen it, let us know. I haven't seen it. Has anyone seen a social media page dedicated to FDMG Academy run by Umar Johnson? I haven't seen it. Somebody said, I ain't gonna read that. Y'all tripping. Somebody said, he was on MySpace. He was on MySpace too, by the way. I think he was. I thought I pulled that. No, don't quote me on that because I ain't looked at that paperwork a long time. but for sure, there wasn't no FDMG MySpace. I know that for a fact. Yeah, his original website, it was so unprofessional. It's ridiculous. I have screenshots of it. I could show it. I just got to go find them. I don't see anybody in here. Someone said he was on AOL, Instagram. No, I haven't seen an Instagram page dedicated to FDMG run by Umar. Some of this I can't read this stuff. Back. All right, let me get up out of here. I'm already off. I'm already off task. Y'all funny. Y'all so funny. Okay, let me get up out of here. He's on Craigslist. He got Craigslist. Not Craigslist. Yeah, Umar had FDMG on Craigslist. That's crazy. Okay, let me get up out of here. It's hard to look away. It's so hard to get up out the chat room. Okay, James says Michael Blackson was in Philadelphia introducing the president of Ghana on stage today. Wow. Yeah, Umar did mention that. Yeah, Michael Blackson. So it's Ghana. I was thinking somewhere. I was thinking Nigeria. So Michael Blackson, president of Ghana. The way I put that. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for him. Yeah, well, he's doing something, He's doing something. So good for him. Yeah, and they were in Philly. Yep. Let me just see something. President in Ghana in Philadelphia. Yeah. The grand arrival. Yeah, there go Michael Blackson right there. He has on all red. Yeah, that's good to see. Yeah. I wonder if Umar was there. He's probably sitting back there jealous. You know how Umar is. I wish that was me. I'm going to be the president of Africa. Okay. Thanks, James. A lady says he said he had to keep his team secret from haters. Yeah, he said that on the Breakfast Club. Because was that on the Breakfast Club? Yeah, I think that was on the He said something. He said a lot of stuff on there that was ridiculous. But I think he said that he said that on the Breakfast Club because I don't know how that. It might have been on something else. But Umar the question had something to do with like his team or something like that. Someone said he was on Black Planet. Yeah, about Umar and his team. And Umar was like how he has to keep his. Yeah, that was on the Breakfast Club. He was like, I don't talk. You know, I'm paraphrasing. I don't share who my team members are because I keep that all secret. Blah blah blah. I take all the hits. Blah blah blah. And said, no, Umar, you ain't got no team. All right. Thank you, lady. Yeah, I wish we could get into all that whole interview because they actually talked a lot. In fact, they talked more about FDMG in the last interview than they had in the other interviews. It's just that they didn't put it on YouTube. Thanks, lady. Okay, let's get back to the main video. Here we go. Looks like we're gonna go for 3 hours. I know. I said we're gonna anyway.
Can you speak to what are some of the things that we can do now, moving forward, to try to counteract, this diabolical plan because it's not by accident?
All right, do me a favor, Django. Let us ask questions. I'm just great question. Go ahead,
yes, sir.
Dr. Umar.
And I would say the first thing that we're going to have to do, and this is going to go back to Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who gave us Negro History Week, which became Black History Month. And of course, you guys know that this past February 7th, we celebrated the centennial of Negro History Week. And he said, when you control a man's mind, you don't have to worry about his actions. If we want to reverse this, we got to get control of the minds of our children. In other words, where are the independent Black schools? We don't have any. All of our schools are public schools. They're either mainstream public schools or they're charter public schools. But whether you're a charter...
We got breaking news. Hold on a second. Thanks, James. For some reason, I just checked my email. Let me see. All right. Let me download these and we'll get into it. Because we were just talking about Michael Blackson and the president of Ghana. And it looks like Umar was there. So let me download this right quick. Yeah, I'll let this play. I'll be right back.
Charter school or a public school, you are still government funded and you are still government controlled. We need to go back to the days of the independent Black schools where we can teach our children what they need to know in the manner we want to teach them. You cannot do that in a charter school. You can't do it in a public school. So until we get education about children back in the hands of the Black community, this is never going to stop.
But you can do that at home, right? And I think that's one of the areas. If we are having an introspective look at ourselves, especially our behavior over the past.
Yeah, but you need to be telling this to Umar directly because Umar doesn't have his own home. He lived off of his mama. He's been homeless since the end of 2019, and he don't take care of his kids. He's a deadbeat. He don't even pay child support on time. He paid child support in bulk. He's had his license revoked at least 3 times. According to his nephew, he was arrested for non-payment at least once. He has had wage garnishments, wage attachments when he was working. I'll propose that that's one of the reasons why Umar don't work a regular job because he doesn't want to be subject to child support. And then there's generic orders, crazy generic orders where the court is trying to get money for the babies, for his children. And because Umar's not working in the nonprofit, even though he's collected millions of dollars, he's not paying himself to the nonprofit officially, even though he's used most of the money. Diabolical. They have to put in generic orders. And what that means is they can't find what Umar's income is because he's not working. And so they establish child support based upon minimum wage in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's go see what is right now, by the way. What is minimum wage in as of March 2026, the minimum wage in Philadelphia and throughout Pennsylvania is $7.25 per hour. That's what they're using. and they're basing child support off of for Umar. Even though he's the most requested scholar, he has 6 degrees allegedly. Even though he's a school psychologist and a child psychotherapist and a school principal, because he's still talking. We were talking about this yesterday, how Umar talks as if he's still doing these things. But they have to go based upon minimum wage. It's called minimum support obligation, $7.25 per hour. And meanwhile, he's collected millions of dollars of Black people's money.
That's 40 plus years. I think that might be one of the biggest areas where we've dropped the ball.
I agree with you, but it's also
See, Umar's not going to go with that because he's a deadbeat. He has to take it in a different direction. That's why he says, but.
We are having an introspective look at ourselves, especially our behavior over the past 40 plus years. I think that might be one of the biggest areas where we've dropped the ball.
I agree with you, but it's also, okay, I'm going to take an African community perspective.
Mm-hmm.
From an African community perspective, we don't start with the family. We start with the village.
No, that's bullshit. You don't have the village unless you have the family. And you have to have the family secure in the first place prior to trying to get involved with other people to grow a village or to grow a community. Because you may be on point with your family, with your kids, and with your wife, but then the next person up over here may be on some bullshit. Oh, but it's about the community in the first place. No. What are you talking about? This is 2026. See, the reason why Umar deflects to the community is because he doesn't want to be introspective. He has to deflect. He doesn't want to be introspective and look at himself as the deadbeat daddy that he is. So he says, oh, no, it's about the community. No, it's about you, homeboy. You deadbeat. And in Africa, I don't want to hear all that. He's talking about.
It starts with the village, and then the village bleeds down into the home. One of the biggest problems with the Black community is we do not have organized, centralized leadership in the Black community.
The organized leadership in the Black community starts in the home, Umar. That's the biggest problem. In my opinion. It starts in the home. And that leadership is what protects the family, the children, from people who would abuse in the community or in the village. And those people discarded those who are truly communal and who are willing to work together and who are doing the right thing by their family and providing leadership within their family in the first place. Those are the people that you build bridges to. And with. But this is just Umar deflecting because he doesn't want to be introspective because he knows that he's a deadbeat.
The village does not have leadership. Who's in charge of ethics in the village? Who's in charge of economics?
Who's in charge of ethics in the home? Who's in charge of economics in the home?
In the village. Who's in charge of youth development in the village?
Who's in charge of youth development in the home?
We do not function as a village. And because we don't.
No, you don't function as a participant of a family. You're a deadbeat.
The family becomes the scapegoat. And the family.
Boy, this is what you call Satan right here. I don't mean to be like this. Slick tongue, fork tongue, slick talk. He flip it all around. You see how deviant this guy is? He turns it completely around. It's like it's sunny outside, but he's telling you that it's overcast and it's a winter storm right now and it's snowing heavily. It's like, he turned the water, you turn the water on cold and he tell you that it's hot. So don't touch it. Or you turn the water on and it's hot and he said, no, it's cold, go on and touch it. He's something else. You guys be careful. Be careful with people like this. And see, the only reason why he's talking like this is because he knows who he is. He's a deadbeat who's non-committal. He's not committed to a woman, to a black woman. He's not married. He's a deadbeat. He don't take care of his kids. He got at least 3 baby mamas in Philadelphia alone. And a 4th woman tried to put him on child support, but was unsuccessful in Philadelphia alone. It's about the village. No, it's about you. I was going to say Negro, but I ain't going to do that. I sure was. I said, let me go ahead and do one. I said, no, don't do it. Okay, here we go.
Family becomes the target. And the reason why we can't allow the family to be the scapegoat or the target of intervention as opposed to the village is 70% of our children are being raised by single black women.
Okay. So what's the solution? See, you a baby mama creator. You've contributed to that 70%. I haven't. It's not about the community or the village concept from Africa. No, it's about you. It's about me. It's about black men stepping up to the plate and being dedicated husbands and fathers. Or if it don't work out with the mama, learn how to co-parent, even if she's crazy. But Umar, you're the baby mama creator. You're the person who you contributed to the 70%. You're the problem, part of the problem, I should say.
Working 2 or 3 jobs who barely have enough time to take care of their own personal, psychological, and medical issues. So the family cannot be the target because the single black mother already has enough on her shoulders.
Okay, yeah, but what does that got to do with anything? So the family is reduced down to the single black mother who has to work 2 or 3 jobs, and because of that, the focus should not be on the family; it should be on the village. What kind of logic is that? I'll propose that she wouldn't be in that position if the man had stepped up to the plate. And again, I get it, because some of these women, I get it. But 70%, some of the responsibility got to be put on these black men who create these baby mamas, like Umar. Some of it, I'm not saying all, but some of it.
We got to go back to the village, and we got to make sure we're holding all the stakeholders accountable in that village.
Look who's talking, Umar.
What I mean by stakeholders: politicians, religious clergy, black businessmen.
This is all deflection because he doesn't want to hold himself accountable as a deadbeat baby mama creator. Now you're talking about politicians, business owners. You're going to talk about athletes, space astronauts.
The fraternities, the sororities, and the Masonic.
Fraternities, sororities, Masonic lodges, the Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, the Trilateral Commission, the reptilian shapeshifters.
Lodges. Look at all the stakeholders we have in our community who are never asked to be accountable or responsible for the direction of our community.
Well, we need to have those closed doors and have those meetings openly with our community so that we know exactly what the agenda is.
Girl, cut it out. You just talking.
I had a conversation.
You just brought up a good point really quick. You said closed doors.
That's right.
One of the negative side effects of the snow bunny crisis, the interracial nightmare that is plaguing Black America, is the more we date and mate out the race, the more we marry outside the community, there can be no closed door meeting. You know why? Because when a black man shows up, he's showing up with his Asian wife. He's showing up with his Latino fiance. He's showing up.
What you talking about? he said his Asian wife, Latino. Okay.
up with his white wife. So how can you have a private meeting with black people about the future of the black community when 30% of the people in the meeting showed up with a non-black spouse? We are not.
This is hypothetical reality. He's just making this up.
Looking at the military science behind the Snow Bunny crisis.
Here you go with the military science.
The more we date and mate out the community, the less privacy and the less confidentiality black business will have.
This brother over here, he got a white wife. He like, motherfucker.
You said something right there.
I'm just playing.
All right, well, we're going to grab another caller.
We've got Mr. James on line 4.
Hi, James.
Okay, before we do that, let's breaking news real quick. Umar just post this on his Instagram page. Let's do this short videos. Let's go. Here's the first one. And there's no audio for some reason. Umar, he's sitting in the audience. James was like, notice Umar's not on stage. He's sitting in the, I don't know, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, maybe sixth or seventh row. All right. They got the African drummers.
Thank you. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Where are my Pronkineers? Where are you at right now, Bron? Wow, this is like a Wakanda Forever movie right now. Who's in the house? I heard Ghana is here, of course. Ghana, where you at?
Shout out to Ghana. You notice Umar ain't on stage. He's the multiple question scholar. He's the Prince of Pan Africanism. Yeah, that's in Philly, Domo. He's the Prince of Pan Africanism, but he's sitting in the 7th row.
We're not alone. We have some guests. Nigeria, you here? Nigerians are everywhere but Nigeria.
That was funny. I like this guy.
LIB, where are you, Liberia? I love my Liberians. Liberians have their own English. Whatever he said, just add an O to it. How you doing, oh? Ataya, oh? I'm hungry, oh? Go see the president, oh?
I didn't get that one. Who? What's the O? Is he said a librarian? Or I don't know.
You dress I like, oh. I got one kind of my pocket, oh. My people, y'all can help me, oh. Well, we'll be having a good time, and America is at war. That's right. America is fighting a country that wants to die. When I saw that. Trump said the war is over. I already said, no, the hell is not. Our president.
Oh, Liberian? Okay, he said Liberian. Oh. Liberian girl. I used to love that song. Didn't Mike do a video on that one too? Wasn't that one? Or was that something else? Liberian girl. But wow, it was 1987. It was 1987. Man, this time is flying by, y'all. I used to love that song. I thought there was a music video, but I'm thinking of something else. Maybe let me see. No, I wasn't on this video. Oh no, here it is right here. Oh yeah, what it was a lot of famous people in that one, and it was like they were shooting a film or something like that. Yeah, it was a great concept. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Because there go what's her name? Remember the Laker girl? She was a Laker girl, but then Paula Abdul's in it. Theo Huxtable is in it. Rest in peace. Because he passed last year. It was so sad. Even what's his name from the Jeffersons. And then I remember the one brother, there he is right there. The one brother, he passed last year, I think. He played in Predator, the brother, and then he also played in Mandalorian. He's in this too. I'm looking at it right. I used to love this song. Whoopi Goldberg's in it back in the day. Has a lot of famous people inside of this one. But I used to love that song. Okay. No, not Wheezy Jefferson, the brother. Yeah, it was the brother. He passed away a couple of years ago too. He has a gang of people up in here. Carl, the guy that does magic, is in here. Yeah, rest in peace to Theo. Okay. We got over 1,000 people in the building. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. If you're enjoying the show, hit the like button. Our goal is 500. We're at 457. And then there is a poll question. Does Umar Johnson treat his donors with respect? 95% said no. 5% said Yes. Okay. Yeah. Carl Weathers. He's one of my favorite actors from back in the day. He passed, rest in peace, last year. Yeah. He was in Predator. Predator was one of my favorite. It was my favorite movie for a long time when I was a child. Okay. Let's finish up with this, and then we're gonna do super chats. We'll get back to the main video. Here we go.
Boy, Trump is just doing whatever he wants to do. He is running America like Suge Knight ran Death Row in the 90s. He went to Venezuela and kidnapped the president of Venezuela. Venezuela has no mass destruction. They have cocaine and BBLs, okay?
All right, let me skip to what is he talking? Hold on. Oh, here, I think the president is coming right now. Here we go.
Of the Republic of Ghana, my last minister, John Mahama.
Yeah. He played Apollo Creed too. Yep. Sure did. Umar in the audience all mad. That should be me up there. I'm the president. I'm the prince of Pan Africanism. I'm the most requested scholar. I'm Prince Ifatunde. I'm Nana Paniana. See, the rhythm is actually but most of us over here, we listen to them the drums on top of it. But you look at the foot movement, that's where the actual beat is. Oh, that's the president right there. That's so cool. That's so good to see. Yeah, Umar, he in there. I'm just like, oh man. Yeah, it seems cool. What's up, Heartbreaker from the Bronx? Out to the Bronx. Okay, breaking news. Thank you, James, for sending that to me. I appreciate it, bro. Okay, let me do super chats real quick, and then we'll finish. Well, goodness, let's do super chats real quick. Okay, so I got Marco. Thank you so much for the super chat. Goddess Noel, thank you so much for the super chat. Michael Blackson was in Philly. Yeah, so we just showed that. Thank you so much, James, and thanks for sending it to me too as well. I appreciate it. A lady says he said he had to keep. Yeah, I got that one too. Thank you. Daniel Alvarez sent to the super sticker. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate that. Heartbreaker from the Bronx says a newsflash: Jermaine ain't calling him Umar. Independent schools in New York City still get government funding and donations altogether. Yeah. See, I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. I was talking about Umar. He actually uses that as an excuse as to why he doesn't get the amount of support that he needs from Black people. He's actually throwing Black people under the bus. So in other words, one of the reasons why, because he always has an excuse, but one of the excuses is that the reason why the progress has been this slow is because he hasn't received the type of financial support that he needs, and that he's only taking money from Black people. He doesn't want to do grants. He doesn't want to do any government funding, anything like that. But really what it is what it is that Umar, he's setting up a dynamic wherein he can have a comfortable excuse as to why the progress is slow, and he can justify it too, saying, no, I'm a Pan-Africanist. It's about Black people, so we don't want the government support. But what it really does is it allows him to extend this school scam even further, because he can justify the lack of progress based upon the lack of funding that he's receiving from Black people. Furthermore, Umar knows, and he recognized that if he did get state funding or government funding, or if there were grants issued, so forth and so on, that there would be oversight, and that he would have to have accounting in place for the money. And therefore, he would have to have transparency with the government. He doesn't want that. So I want everyone to think about this. Umar doesn't want transparency with the government. See, if Umar was transparent with the government when he set up his 501c4 back in 2015, he would have reported to the IRS how much money he raised for 2015, 16, and 17. But he didn't do that, so it went into auto revocation. We talked about this yesterday. Because he doesn't want to have oversight. He never even, there's no telling how much money he raised back then. He never reported it to the IRS. So then he keeps collecting money, 2018, 2019, 2020. And then he finally gets tax exempt status again under a 501c3 this time, but it's not retroactive. He gets it in 2020. It's not retroactive for that year. It applies to the following year. That's why he had to pay, the donors had to pay taxes on the properties from 2019, for 2019 and 2020. If he had tax exempt status in 2019 and 2020, then you, Umar Johnson donors, you would not have had to pay out $172,931.86 in taxes, property taxes associated with these trap banners. It's wasted money. So what does Umar do? This time around, Umar in 2020, he reports to the IRS. He reports in 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Is that right? Yeah, 20. Yeah, but for 2020, he said that he didn't collect any donations. But then in 2021, he backlogs, if memory serves me correctly. He shows how much he collected in 2020. The point is, this time around, Umar, he has to have some level of accounting with the government, because he knows that if he doesn't put in the proper paperwork and show something, that ultimately his nonprofit status will go into auto revocation. And if that happens, then all the money he collects after that point is considered to be personal income. See, once it becomes personal income, now it's subject to taxation, and it's also subject to wage garnishments via child support. And Umar doesn't want that to happen. He doesn't want either one of those things to happen. He's still living off of the money. I mean, it's really deep how he structured all of this. It's really deep. So the point is, a heartbreaker from the Bronx, is that Umar, the reason why he uses that, it's a comfortable excuse. He doesn't want government funding is because he doesn't want oversight from the government. And then he also wants to use the idea and notion that he doesn't want to take white money. And because he's not taking quote unquote white money or government money, that's the reason why he doesn't have enough money to push this project forward. It also allows him to blame black people, his donors, for not sending him enough money. Diabolical. Thank you, Heartbreaker from the Bronx. Shout out to the Bronx. TJ says he's talking family when he fails to care for his. Yeah, absolutely. Total hypocrite. Total hypocrite. See, he did so much deflection when the brother brought up the issue of the family. He's talked. Then he started talking about the government and the secret society, the Illuminati, whatever he said. The politicians. He's all way up out of there. He's way over there. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, thanks, TJ. He ain't no damn savior. He's a bum that speaks a little well. yeah, I know, Daniel. But Umar presents himself as such. He's called himself the Black Christ and the Black Messiah. He has a Messiah complex. And if you go back to early Umar, you didn't hear that rhetoric. It's not until 2012 where Umar starts to give himself these self-appointed titles as in an act of self-aggrandizement, where he's trying to make himself appear to be more important or more powerful or more significant than he really is. And he came up with all kinds of stuff, some of the stuff you guys never heard of. I'll have it in the documentary, but there's stuff beyond Prince of Pan Africanism and the most requested scholar, because at first he was saying the most requested, and then he added most requested scholar later on. But he has all these things that he was saying. But then the ego and the narcissism grew to such a degree that at a certain point, he started calling himself the Black Christ and the Black Messiah. So he sees himself like that. It's the narcissism. It's not true, but it goes to show you where Umar Johnson's mentality is at. Okay? Thanks, Daniel. TJ says, Lenon, in your opinion, why do these people continue to book Umar knowing that we all know about him? Is it for ratings, lack of research? I think it's a combination of things, but at this point in 2026, there's enough research out here for anyone to look into, and it wouldn't take people long. There's plenty of people who are critics of Umar, do a fantastic job for years. So I think it's a combination of things. On one hand, like the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy knows that Umar's a scammer. Charlemagne knows that he's a scammer too. Angeline knew that he was too. That's why at a certain point she stopped coming on the show when Umar started coming on. When he started coming on again, because she was there, I think, for the first two. But he was talking reckless about Asian people. She's part Asian, Chinese. So they know that. But for them, I think it's about the views. It's about the ratings. Does it matter to them, the research, and that he's a scammer? I don't think so. At this point, I don't think so. For Charlemagne in particular, you can say DJ Envy too, but Charlemagne for sure. I don't think it matters. The other and same thing. He's been on other shows too. Art of Dialogue. He was on there, and there were people who were making comments about how they were disappointed in Art for having Umar on. But I think in his case, it's about views. Art has done enough research because I've seen him mention certain things, and it's either he saw my show or some episodes, or he saw some other people critics of Umar, and he brought up certain specific questions, and he's getting that from Umar Johnson's critics. I don't know if he does this in this interview, the most recent one. He probably doesn't, but there's enough information out there, and I'm sure that Art understands that Umar is a scam artist, specifically with the FDMG. But I think what they tend to do is they just won't ask. He just won't ask him specific questions about FDMG that would kind of expose Umar. They'll stick to topics dealing with Black celebrities. So a lot of what Umar does when he gets on these platforms, he's just talking shit about Black celebrities. That's it. Nothing substantive. And he's not being held to task dealing with this FDMG school scam. So I think it's a combination of both. But at this point, TJ, in 2026, there's no excuse for anybody, even if they're just learning about Umar. Just do a little bit of research, and there's enough out here from plenty of Umar Johnson critics for people to recognize that Umar Johnson, he's trifling. Yeah. Thanks, TJ. Yeah, it's projection time. Yeah, he was projecting so bad. Umar was a trip with that. It's amazing how he does that, and he just goes right into it. He I don't even think he doesn't think about it. He just starts projecting. That's the thing. Umar either deflects or he projects. Right? Thanks, guys, little princess. Daniel says someone need to give him the Mortal Kombat uppercut and send his ass to the next level. All right. We don't condone violence. Okay. Did you talk about Mortal Kombat? I was talking about that. I'll just spit. I apologize. I was talking about that the other day because my brother he had texted me a screenshot. I think it was Mortal Kombat 2, the old one. I was trying to figure out what is he playing that on. Kombat 2 was on what console? It was probably on Nintendo 64 or Nintendo 64. Mortal Kombat 2, 1993. Oh, yeah, Super Nintendo. That's what it was. Famously reported to numerous consoles with the primary 16-bit home. So Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. I had a Sega Genesis, a Mega Drive. It was also released on Game Boy, Game Gear, Sega Saturn, 32X, PlayStation, and Master System, along with Amiga and PC. All right, that was a great game. It was a classic. It was controversial because there was a lot of blood and gore, at least for that time period. If children saw it nowadays, they wouldn't flinch. But back then, it was a big deal, a big controversy. All right, thanks, Daniel. College of Natural Health Science says Umar was keynote speaker at the Deadbeat Dad Expo. Yeah, every year. No, that's what they had. Yeah, they need to have one of those. Okay, have Umar be the keynote speaker. Thank you for the super chat. Jason says, hello from South Korea. Shout out to South Korea. I can't stand men who don't lead their own household or take care of their own kids talking nonsense. I lead my home, homeschool my child. Congratulations. Serve as Girl Scouts treasurer. Okay. And run a small business. Yeah. Well, amen. Amen to you. Much respect. Yeah. It's an active thing too. You have to be active. There's always something going on. My wife and I, we have 5 kids. We homeschooled them up to a certain age. I can't remember what grade we put our older 2 boys in. I can't remember right now. I want to say 8th and 9th, maybe something like that. Those were good times. I mean, it was rough times. It was good times when we were homeschooling and stuff because as a family, we were so connected. And then as they gotten older, they do their own thing. Older 2 sons that, they out there doing what they do. So you got to enjoy that time. And that's why being present is important. Even if you're struggling with things, because later on, when your children get older, they're going to have their own lives to live. I get emotional about that because my wife too, because we don't know once they're out doing it. This is going to be me and her again. We're going to be all old sitting up here. That's why I'm waiting on grandbabies. Anyway, salute to you. Salute to you. Umar is part of the problem that he speaks about. And he's a total hypocrite because he has at least 3 baby mamas in Philadelphia alone. And just in Philadelphia, and another woman tried to put him on child support in Philadelphia, but was unsuccessful. And then he doesn't take care of any of his children. And he doesn't even have his own home. If you raise millions of dollars, and see, Umar could pay himself through the nonprofit. He can pay himself $100,000 a year, get himself his own place, and be an active participant in his children's lives. But he's chosen not to do so. He can't say he doesn't have the money to do it. He doesn't have the care to do it. That's what it is. And that's one of the biggest problems. See, when you don't care for your own child, that's a huge problem. When you don't feel a love for your child, that's a huge problem. And so Umar, he talks about all these problems with the Black community and how these single Black mothers, blah, 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 this and that, but he's the one that's contributed to that. And then how often do we hear Umar talking about Black men who are dedicated and committed husbands and fathers to their children? I don't hear Umar talking like that. Jason, he wouldn't talk about you. I'm not perfect either, okay? I've had my fair share of failures and struggles, doing a whole lot better these days. But you don't hear Umar talking about giving those types of examples. He's always giving these worst case scenarios, but really he's talking about himself. He's the deadbeat. Total hypocrite. Thank you, Jason, and salute to you. Okay, much respect. Heartbreaker from the Bronx says, I miss playing the djembe drums. Yeah, I used to play djembe drums a little bit when I was in college, and then after the first time, and then I bought some over the years too. I just don't have one now. Yeah, get you one to enjoy. You know, you got to get that rhythm in. You know that pop. It just reminds me of I Love Lucy. Y'all remember? Let me stop. The younger people are like, I Love Lucy. What are you talking about? Okay, thanks, Heartbreaker from the Bronx. He also says, I use Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. I still have the original Xbox and Xbox 360. Yeah, you going way back to today. Yeah, that Nintendo Switch, the second one that just came out, it was so expensive because I was gonna get one from my friend's sons because they got the other, but it was, I said, he was like, no, don't do it. I said, no, I'll get it for you. Nah. Okay. Thanks, Heartbreaker for the Bronx. And then Highway 20 says, 20 Skinny says, how often does Umar talk about his own family? Very rarely. Very rarely. Yeah, that's a good question. I can't even give you a number based upon my research. It's that rare. He never gives testimony about being an active participant. It's always some drama type of thing. Like last year when he was speaking recklessly about his daughter and his daughter's mother and then his other baby mama, he called one of them Mama Smurf and the other one the evil vegan. It's just a bunch of drama. Everything he does is drama. He's a drama fiend. Okay. Anyway, very rarely. I can't even give you a number. And then when he has, it's always to disparage. You know, it's always to disparage. And then in particular, his immediate family, that's even rarer in my opinion. Yeah, except for last year because of things that took place. Okay, thank you for the super chat. Everyone else, I hope I didn't miss anyone. I'll go back through in just a moment, but let's get back to the main video because we have to actually start winding this down. It's getting late. All right, here we go.
Hey, young people. Dr. Umar, much love and praise. Don't call me sir, brother. I work for a living. Much love and praise. I'm now your knowledge and courage. The school you're opening in Philadelphia, your security must be top notch. But you know,
yeah, he ain't opening no school in Philadelphia. Well, I tell you, here we go.
That
here we go.
You're going to be under great threat and terror. Now, you was talking about opening a school in the motherland, Africa. What changed your mind about opening a school in the motherland and instead doing it here?
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
James. We
sir.
appreciate the question.
Good question.
Great question. And of course, we have to open up FDMG Chicago because it was Chicago that gave birth to Dr. Umar, you know, on the national and international level. That took place in Chicago on September the 18th of 2010. So Chicago and followed by New York City, our two largest Black and most conscious communities, they're the ones who launched my career. So I got to open up FDMG Chicago. But to answer your question, the reason I decided to open up the first school in the United States, which will be in Wilmington, Delaware, as opposed to Africa being the first school, is because of a spiritual divination. I had a spiritual reading done by a Babalawo, a very prominent Babalawo in the Nigerian Ifa spiritual tradition. And he told me that the ancestors said my first school should be near my place of birth. He said, you will have schools in Africa, but your first school is not supposed to be in Africa. It's supposed to be in the land of your birth. And that's why.
What? Has anyone ever heard Umar tell that story? Maybe he has. Miss Cleo, let me stop. Somebody said the land of his birth. That is undefeated. Boy, y'all crazy. Yeah, I ain't never heard him say that to tell this story. Maybe he has though. I ain't never heard him. Is Black Anonymous still here? Always say, is James still here? Is Black Anonymous still? Facultito, please help us out here. Let's keep going. I ain't never heard this story.
We stayed with the Wilmington, Delaware campus.
And it just seems like it should be inward, outward anyway. Oprah
Absolutely.
Winfrey opened up a school in Africa, but we're not benefiting from it here when this is where.
Okay, wait a minute, ma'am. We ain't benefit. Ain't nobody benefit from these trap battles Wilmington either.
The crisis is, or part of, obviously we're submerged in the crisis right here.
If I go to Africa, a lot of our parents in America are not going to feel comfortable enough sending their parents to the mother continent, although they'd be.
He's saying sending their children to the mother continent. But I played the video, I think it was yesterday, where Umar was talking about how the boys was going to be, was it yesterday, before yesterday, how he was going to have a school over in Africa. So which one is it, Umar? Hit the one.
Safer in Africa than they ever would be in Chicago, Detroit, or Philadelphia. But because of the brainwash and the lack of education, our boys in America would not benefit from that school. And that would not only be fair to them, because I've pledged my life to them and Black boys throughout the world, but
yeah, he said we're going to have a school in Ghana. Yeah, I think it was Ghana.
Particularly the ones from which I come from. But not only that, most of our donations that gave birth to the FDMG Academy came from American Africans, although Africans around the world donated, the American Africans carried a big part of that. And so it wouldn't be fair to the donors.
What you mean a big part of it? Overwhelmingly. Cut it out, Umar. Just with the conversion rate alone, currency conversion rate, stop.
From the States for us to take the school somewhere else first. Now, we will have schools everywhere. That's my dream.
It's not gonna... It's not gonna happen. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Man, that is hilarious. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
But the first one should be here.
I'd like to circle back if I could. Just hearing you in the last few minutes, I think it's important that we figure out where we kind of lost our way. This even came up yesterday, but I'd love to know your thoughts on the civil rights movement and expectations.
It's not gonna happen
internally amongst Black people versus what white people thought we wanted. And it seems as if, Black people wanted to be able to be Black and be respected as Black. And it seems as if white folk assumed that what we wanted was assimilation into whiteness.
Oh,
and so I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
Yes, sir. And first, to your point, because this is a great topic and question. Number one, I want to make it absolutely clear that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was alive at the time, he wouldn't be assassinated for another year. He did not participate in at all that Loving versus Supreme Court decision that overturned anti-miscegenation law. Dr. King did not in any way, shape, form, or fashion support that, because a lot of people think Dr. King has something to do with the outlawing of interracial marriage. He did not. He absolutely did not at all. To his credit, he gave that none of his energy, probably because he foresaw what we're dealing with right now. The other thing I want to make clear, when Dr. King fought in the civil rights era, he was not fighting for Black people to completely assimilate. Dr. King was fighting for access to opportunity. Dr. King defended our right to have our own institutions. Dr. King never said, don't have your own schools, your own hospitals, your own banks. He never said, walk away from our own Black Wall Streets and run to the white man with all your money. He never said that. Black people, because of our love and desire to be accepted by white folks, we gave up our infrastructure. We gave up our communities. We gave up our cities. And if there's any mistake that Dr. King and the other great ancestors made during that time, and of course, Jesse Jackson just passed away, rest in peace to him, the mistake that they made, and it's not even their fault, they underestimated how much Black people really wanted to be accepted by white people. There's no way Dr. King could have thought we would have gave up all them Black hospitals just to go and be with white people. There's no way he could have thought we would have gave up all those Black businesses just to go shop with Black people. They underestimated how much that post-traumatic slavery disease had infiltrated the psyche of the Negro. It was never about assimilation. It was about accessing that which you could not get any other way. For example, if I want to be an astronomer and there's no HBCU that offers astronomy, I need to go to a PWI. If me and my wife are driving through a town that doesn't have a Black hole,
First of all, don't put astronomy into this. No, nothing dealing with sci-fi, Star Trek, Star Wars, aliens, Predator, none of that. Don't do that. I don't appreciate it. Captain Ed don't appreciate it. Everyone else in here who's a nerd type Trekkie, we don't appreciate it either. That's number one. Let's get that out the way. Number two, Umar, what you talking about if you and your wife is you stupid? What's wrong with you? If me and my wife go order a ham hock sandwich, what are you talking about? It's not even about the ham hock sandwich. It's about you and your wife. What are you talking about? Umar, if you don't know yet, if you don't understand yet, if you're unaware, you don't have a wife, homeboy. You got a gang of baby mamas, though. If me and my wife go to her, what you talking about? If me and my wife go fry some fish, what? If me and my wife get on the elevator and we go, what are you talking about? If me and my wife go fight a gaucho. Listen, that's enough. Cut it out. It's not even about fighting a gaucho. It's about you and your wife. There is no wife. There's gaucho, though.
Never about assimilation. It was about accessing that which you could not get any other way. For example, if I want to be an astronomer and there's no HBC.
Oh, you like the chair? Well, email me. I'll get you one. Let me know. I got it from Costco. Yeah, email me. I'll get you one. I appreciate you as a mod.
To you that offers astronomy, I need to go to a PWI. If me and my wife are driving through a town that doesn't have a Black hotel and we need to sleep because it's too dangerous to sleep in the car, we should be able to sleep in the white-owned hotel.
Wait, what are you? What is this? The 1950s? What are you talking about? What in the world is this need? I really want to bad. I'm not going to use the other one, okay, the ninja one. I want to use the other one, okay, but I'm not going to do that. He talking like it's the 1960s, 1950s, 40s. They're driving through the South someplace, you know. One of them old school cars, yeah. You know, the old cars. Where you got to roll the window down like this. Y'all remember those? He act like he one of the 5 heartbeats and shit. The Temptations on the road or something. How's he come up with this story? I don't get it.
Never about assimilation. It was about accessing that which you could not get any other way. For example, if I want to be an astronomer and there's no HBCU that offers astronomy, I need to go to a PWI. If me and my wife are driving through a town that doesn't have a black hotel and we need to sleep because it's too dangerous to sleep in the car, we should be able to sleep in the white-owned hotel. It was.
I know you're talking past tense, but why you put yourself in there as if you have a wife? That's the real issue.
Not about giving up what we got. It was about making sure we could get what we needed if there was no black alternatives.
I love that. And that you just took us right up to the break a little bit over. And I always say, if you got the master key, who's going to give you an exact copy?
As a hard mind damage survivor, age 75 to 84, I remember when it was a no-no for 2 dark-skinned people to marry because the baby would be too black. And yellow mellow, brown stick around, black get back was real. And you couldn't.
And that's within our own community. That's within us. Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it was your parents that taught you the violence of hard mind damage when they taught you to stay in your place. That came from the parents. And I appreciate Reverend Jackson saying, I am somebody, because that erases that violence of stay in your place that our own parents taught us. Would you?
Hey, listen, my parents didn't teach me that. My dad's mama, though, she was real racist, a colorist, though. She was light-skinned. She had red hair. I think that's where the Irish stuff comes, that side, because it's not from my mama's side. My mama ain't got no white in her. I don't mean to say it that way. But I remember it was me and my wife who went to and rest in peace, my grandmama on my dad's side. I took her to go meet my grandmother. And at that time, we had our oldest son. He's grown now. So he was a toddler. And she had a fish tank in the living room. And we were sitting in the living room, and there was fish in there, and there was a black fish. And the black fish, it kept like messing with the other fishes, messing with them. Because fish, it was bigger than the other ones too, but it would snap at them. And my grandma looked over there and she said, "You see that black fish? You see how it's acting? It's just like a nigga." I'm sorry. I was like, wow. My wife was shocked. My wife was shocked. I said, okay. Anyway, that's a lot of old stuff. My kids, they don't know nothing about that, and we don't play those games. Okay, these people, they talking from the past. But it does still happen, though, that's for sure. but the way it's antiquated. It does still happen to colorism. Okay, let's go.
To address that.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Very good. Dr.
Well,
Umar.
it's very true. I mean, light skin supremacy is a very big issue in the Black community. I notice working in schools as a school psychologist. I see it. I've had children come into my office.
He says as a school psychologist, he's not a school psychologist doing 26. Now he's saying that when he has children come into his office, he doesn't have an office.
Is crying about it. I've had young people tell me how their grandparents, these are the wise people of the village, their grandparents, Bible-carrying Christians, who would favor the light-skinned children over the darker. And then we've seen the reverse.
It does happen, but in 2026, I think it's an antiquated mentality. And there's people who still have that mentality. Okay? It's unfortunate.
When you have a dark-skinned supremacy, where you have the dark-skinned grandparents not favoring the light-skinned grandparents. So it's amazing how deeply colorism from the plantation has found itself into the Black psyche. It is a deep-rooted problem. We don't like to talk about it. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, there was a real big issue because Tachina Arnold from the Martin sitcom miniseries that was real popular a couple of years ago, she talked about how Gina, used to be mistreated by the Black people in the live audience, how they would laugh at her jokes because they were angry that Martin had a light-skinned girlfriend instead of a dark-skinned girlfriend. And it took Tachina Arnold to speak up, on Gina's behalf, because had Gina spoken up on her own behalf, a lot of Black people would have waved her off under the assumption that she benefits from light-skinned privilege.
Yeah, I thought it was the opposite, though. I thought she was saying that it was an issue. I don't know. Anyway, I had a crush on her when I used to watch Martin. She still looked good to this day. I ain't gonna lie. Well, she aged very well. Pam. Oh my goodness, Pam. Let's go.
Absolutely. There was a lead up to that because Tachina also talked about how she was the butt of all jokes because she was dark skinned. So that was something to consider and think about as well.
And I think that was relevant. If Tachina Arnold was light-skinned, I do not think she would have become the butt of all the jokes that she was. And then a lot of people will say, well, Martin didn't.
That may be true. That may be true. Yeah.
Mean it. He may not have meant it, but we still have to deal with the reality that subconsciously and unconsciously, we as African people coming out of that trauma of slavery and the Jim Crow.
Yeah, I don't remember her saying that. I thought she was saying the opposite, but Umar.
Trauma and the white supremacist culture that we still live in today.
He used to call her Applehead because her forehead, she had a big forehead. I remember that. Anyway.
Carry on intentionally and unintentionally a lot of the debris.
Yeah, that's true, Pyru. BD. I meant to get this other one. Sports bet, it's true. Everyone got it because they used to clown everybody. Tommy, everybody. Other name Cole.
Breathe from the plantation. And
they used to clown Martin because of his ears.
It doesn't make a difference if you did it on purpose or if you did it by accident. The fact remains we have not healed from the trauma of slavery.
Say Umar relates to that show because Tommy, he ain't got no job either. He said, yeah, I remember Martin. He said my favorite character was Tommy. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks, D-Wood. That was an ongoing joke on that show.
Oh, Dr. Umar, I know I said an hour. Can you stick with us?
Sure, I can.
All right. I appreciate this, my good friend.
But what's fascinating to me
that's nice that Umar stayed on too. Give him credit for that.
Is given that Caucasians are the
he ain't got nothing else to do.
Minority on this planet, and this is what I want you to get your opinion on. How in the hell is it that they have dominance and influence over the entire globe and pretty much every discipline when it comes
to Spock was like, all I hear is gibberish. This is illogical. All I hear is gibberish. Okay, thanks, Xenoflex. Okay. Oh no, I just got that's the one that you sent. Here's the one that you sent. No, I got this. How often does Umar talk about his own family? Yeah, I thought I answered this one. Yeah, very rarely does he do that. And whether that, meaning his brothers and sisters, very rarely. And then in terms of his, what would be his family, you get the baby mamas and the children that he doesn't take care of, he rarely talks about them either, unless he's disparaging them. And he did a lot of that last year because his daughter came out and exposed him as a deadbeat. Yeah. Thanks, Highway Skinny. Yeah, I got that one earlier. Okay, let's keep going.
The manufacturing, sales, distribution, creation, what have you, weapons,
everything, everybody all over
Well, I
the
didn't
world
see it. Let me look
is
again.
dancing to the tune of the white man and in fear of what the white man's next move is. How did he get to this great position of power?
Oh, here we go. FDMG funds definitely misappropriating. That's a good one. FDMG funds definitely misappropriated in Ghana. Absolutely. Yeah, he was dealing with a woman because I did a show for members only to cover because he was dealing with this. She was a sex worker, real talk. Because we went to her website and everything. I can't even tell you the kind of stuff that was on there. But he was dealing with her when he was over in Africa. And we played it too, because I played it for everyone too. The video where he gets up on behind her, and yeah, he sneak kisses her. Yeah, we did some research into her, and us, boy, I said, goodness gracious, ain't no telling how much money Umar's tricked off in other countries. And overwhelmingly, that money's coming from people up over here in the United States of America, black people up over here. Thanks, Highway Skinny. All right, here we go.
Power and dominance. It's mind-blowing to me. Everybody all over the world is talking about what the white man's doing, what he's going to do next, and how we going to stop it from happening. It's almost like he's Galactus or something. It's blowing my mind, dude.
That's a good
Thank
point.
you, brother.
Thank you, Eddie.
We appreciate it.
Well, I would say in the words of the right excellent Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, he said that the white man's greatest weapon is his propaganda. And he said, anyone who has come into contact with the white man's propaganda has fallen victim to it. So it is literally the indoctrination and the hypnosis of white supremacy that keeps so many people believing that they cannot overcome the system, and particularly black people. And that's a big reason why you see so many American Africans willingly marrying and dating outside of their race, because they don't think we have any hope. They don't believe that white supremacy is insurmountable. And so they have chosen to join it. Two quick points I wanted to bring up, though. One is how white parents treat their mixed race children, and two is how the black community treats mixed race children. Number one, starting with the
real quick, how would he know how white people treat their so-called mixed race children? How would he know that?
Black community, we are a walking contradiction, because there's many black people who do not accept mixed race blacks, who identify as black. I'm not talking about the ones who don't want nothing to do with us, because I don't want anything to do with them either. But the ones who were raised as black, who identify as black, you have a lot of black people who will still reject them, but support interracial dating. That is a complete oxymoron. How can you support interracial marriage and then be upset at the product of that marriage and want to reject them out of the community? So black people need to make up their mind. If you are against
what does he talk? I mean, it's such a sweeping generalization.
Interracial children, how can you not be against interracial dating? That's one. And two, when you talk about white people who actually mother and father mixed race black children, they treat their mixed race black children, many of them, as poorly as they treat black people in the society. I have had mixed race black children tell me that they've been called the N-word by their mother, that their mother has.
Umar always has. He always says, last week someone called me, or I have people texting me, they tell me all the time. Listen, there's more black people that have been called the N-word by their parents than by black parents than by white parents. What you talking about, Umar? If you want to take averages, on average, well, there's less white parents that have black children. Okay, well, I'm just saying. What's the term? It's like per capita, per parent, whatever. Anyway, here we go. He always has a story.
That thinks to them like, I wish you were never born. You're starting to act just like the rest of them. I mean,
Well, I've heard black parents say stuff like that to their kids. Cut it out.
We need to understand something. White people who marry black people are still just as racist as white people who do not marry black people. There is no difference. Yeah. There is no difference in the way they approach black people. And when their black children are old enough, they will begin to look at them like they look at the rest of us.
I'll take it one step further, Dr. Umar. A lot of the times when you have a mixed race couple, let's say it's a white wife and a black husband, they almost feel like because it gives them some type of credential that they have a black spouse, and they say some of the craziest things about black people. You say it because they always fall back on, well, I can't be racist because my spouse is black.
Or I got black friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that gives them a right to be able to say the N-word in their home because I'm your mother.
Yeah, but how do you know that white people are saying that inside of their home? You're not in their home. What are you talking about? I know black people be saying it in their home, though. What the fuck are y'all talking about? I mean, it sounds like a junior high school level conversation on antiquated topics. I don't mean to be like that, but come on now.
Or because I'm your father. Not true. No one should be saying it, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and take some calls.
Well, Umar say it all the time when he get mad. Did y'all see the SETI rant? I played just a little bit of it yesterday. My video got demonetized. I knew it was, but someone asked for it. I said, let me get the people what they want. Oh, well. Do what I got to do. Umar be on platforms like, we shouldn't use the N-word, but you see the SETI rant? Cut it out.
All right, we've got, it looks like Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine, you're live.
Here we go.
Thank you for having me. I'm just very concerned of the things that I've learned about Dr. Umar. I've heard him say that I've seen a guy online that said that he raised over $2 million. And the fact is, I heard him say, calling black people like derogative names such as raggedy Negroes for not donating to him.
Yeah, what it was trifling ass black people. That's what it was.
Although they donated approximately $2 million. And I would like to know how, as a principal, can you guide young children if you're talking so vulgar online and you're not teaching the children anything, really? So I'm just wondering. And then I would like to know that, like, why is it that,
No problem, Ms. Jasmine. Thanks for calling.
May I respond? I would love to respond to you, sister.
You got it.
Number one, we have never raised $2 million. So I don't know where you got that figure from. We have never raised $2 million. That's number one.
There we go.
According to Umar Johnson, he took his first FDMG Academy donation on April 14, 2014.
I want to say thank you to all my donors. Where are my donors at? How many of y'all been donating since the first fundraiser, April the 14th, St. Louis 2014?
On November 4th, 2024, Umar Johnson said the following on It's Up There podcast.
Now, mind you, Black Lives Matter raised what? $100 million? I don't think they ever got audited. We never broke $1 million. We got audited the year before last, and we had to show them everything. The man was
You ain't broke $1 million?
Nah, close to it, but we ain't broke $1 million, which is fine.
What Umar Johnson is saying is that by November of 2024, he had not raised $1 million for FDMG Academy.
We never broke $1 million. We got audited the year before last, and we had to show them everything. The man was
You ain't broke $1 million?
Nah, close to it, but we ain't broke $1 million, which is fine.
Even though Umar Johnson claims that he had not raised $1 million by November of 2024, video evidence, interview evidence, podcast evidence, lecture evidence, and IRS nonprofit financial records prove that Umar Johnson had raised well over $1 million by November of 2024. For this video, we will specifically examine online records related to the purchase price of the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, Umar Johnson's own words, and Umar Johnson's IRS filings for the years 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. On February 9, 2019, Umar Johnson announced that he had acquired abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware.
Brothers and sisters, I'm glad to announce right here today on Saturday, February the 9th, 2019, Black History Month, that the location of the first Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy will be in the great state where Marcus Garvey incorporated the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation. Marcus Garvey incorporated the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation in the state of Delaware, 1919. And Dr. Umar Johnson, with the funds donated and invested in him by our people, have purchased the first Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy in the great state of Delaware, 2019.
In the school announcement video, Umar Johnson did not disclose how much money he spent to acquire the abandoned buildings. Online records show the purchase price as $400,000. In an interview on the Lord Jamar Godcast dated October 12, 2020, the topic of the purchase price was brought up.
You end up purchasing 2 buildings, yes?
4 buildings.
4 buildings, okay. For about
2 schools, 4 buildings.
2 schools, 4 buildings for $400,000.
It was more than that.
Okay. Well,
notice that Umar Johnson stated that the purchase price was more than $400,000. Umar Johnson did not reveal exactly how much more the purchase price was. However, in a video from March 3rd, 2019, Umar Johnson states the following.
Go right ahead, black man. What's your question?
Well, first of all, I'm just honestly happy that you got your school. When I heard that you got it on one of your live Instagram feeds, I honestly couldn't believe it. And the price that you got it for, I'm just like, wow, this is actually happening.
You said the price that I got it for. What's the price I got it for, brother Ace?
I think you said 700,000, and it was it was supposed to be $1 million, something like that.
Yes, sir. We got it reduced. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
But
around that amount.
In this video, Umar Johnson asks the caller, "What's the price that I got it for?" The caller responds, "I think you said $700,000. Umar Johnson agrees with that figure, but then replies, "Around that amount."
What's the price I got it for, brother Ace?
I think you said 700,000, and it was it was supposed to be $1 million, something like that.
Yes, sir. We got it reduced. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
But
around that amount.
For this video, we will reasonably accept the figure of $700,000 as factual and establish that the FDMG purchase price was around $700,000. Therefore, we can state that by February 9, 2019, Umar Johnson had raised at least $700,000 to purchase the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. With $700,000 established as the minimum amount of donation money raised, we can now review Umar Johnson's IRS Form 990 return for the year 2020. The Form 990 is an organization exempt from income tax document that must be submitted to the IRS in order to maintain nonprofit status. Umar Johnson's nonprofit status, associated with the FDMG Academy, allows Umar Johnson to collect FDMG Academy donations without having to pay taxes on the money raised. Umar Johnson's IRS Form 990 shows that Umar Johnson reported to the IRS that he received no FDMG Academy donations for the year 2020. However, under the Part 10 balance sheet section, Umar Johnson reported that he had $518,048 cash in a non-interest-bearing account at the beginning of 2020. This cash would include the donations raised in 2019 and whatever money Umar Johnson had left over after purchasing the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware for around $700,000. Logically, therefore, we can add the 2019 purchase price of around $700,000 to the remaining cash in the non-interest-bearing account of $518,048. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the beginning of 2020 was $1,218,048. Umar Johnson's Form 990 return document for the year 2021 shows that Umar Johnson raised $177,892 in 2020 and $116,585 in 2021. Since Umar Johnson did not report the $177,892 to the IRS on his 2020 Form 990 return, we can add the $177,892 to the total FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2020 was $1,395,940. We can now add the $116,585 raised in 2021 to the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2021 was $1,512,525. Umar Johnson's Form 990 return for the year 2022 shows that Umar Johnson raised $0 in donations. Umar Johnson's Form 990 return document for the year 2023 shows that Umar Johnson raised $121,646 in 2022 and $204,822 in donations in 2023. Since Umar Johnson did not report the $121,646 to the IRS on his 2022 Form 990 return, we can add the $121,646 to the total FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2022 was $1,634,171. We can now add the $204,822 raised in 2023 to the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2023 was $1,838,993. Umar Johnson's Form 990 document for the year 2024 shows that Umar Johnson raised $84,506 in 2024. We can now add the $84,506 raised in 2024 to the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised. Calculations show that the total minimum FDMG Academy donations raised by Umar Johnson at the end of 2024 was $1,923,499. Therefore, it can be factually stated that Umar Johnson has raised a bare minimum of $1,923,499 in FDMG Academy donations through the year 2024. A critical question that we should ask is, why did Umar Johnson tell people in November 2024 that he had not raised $1 million in FDMG Academy donations?
Now, mind you, Black Lives Matter raised what? $100 million? I don't think they ever got audited. We never broke $1 million. We got audited the year before last, and we had to show them everything. The man was
You
like,
ain't broke $1 million?
Nah, close to it, but we ain't broke $1 million, which is fine.
Now, take a look at that. There's two things here. Number one, this does not include the donations raised in 2012, 2013, because Umar, I have proof that he stated that he had received donations in the form of land in San Bernardino, California, and also in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we're not counting 2012, 2013. We're not counting 2017, 2018. And I can explain why it's not necessary to count that, because if we go from 2014 to 2016, by 2016, Umar Johnson said that he was already at $1 million. So if we look at the calculations that I do and you look at the amount of money that I show outside of the IRS filings, that $1 million is listed there from 2004. I use the figures that are there on the for the cash on hand and the purchase price as being part of that $1 million that was raised between 2014 and 2016 through 2016. Okay, so if that makes sense to people. And then 2017, 2018, we're not counting that. We're counting 2019 because I'm giving Umar the benefit of the doubt that part of the money that he had left over was donation money from 2019 that he didn't report to the IRS. And then we're not counting donations because we don't have that document yet for 2025. And we're not counting donations for 2026, so we don't have that document yet. The point being is that if we take the purchase price that Umar Johnson states of around $700,000, it would get us up to $1,923,499. We're not counting 2012, 2013, 2017, 18. We're not counting 2025 or 2026. It is highly likely, extremely, astronomically likely that if we added these other years in, that Umar would be over $2 million. Furthermore, even if we took the purchase price that's listed online, which is $400,000, and we deduct that from this 1.9, we deduct the difference because Umar says it's around 700,000. So we deduct the difference. We take 700,000 and we go with the 400,000. There's a $300,000 difference. If we deduct that $300,000 from this $1.923 million, we're going to get that down to $1,623,499. But it is astronomically likely that if we add the 2012 donations, 2013 donations, 2017 donations, 2018 donations, 2025 donations, and 2026 donations, that it would still get over $2 million. I rest my case.
We have never raised $2 million. So I don't know where you got that figure from. We have never raised $2 million. That's number one. Number two, I don't use the word raggedy. So I could not have called anybody raggedy Negroes because I do not use the word.
Yeah, and I've never heard him use raggedy, but it's here's some examples of him disrespecting his donors. Because this gets to the poll question. Let me just bring this up for you guys real quick. And we're almost done here. The poll question for today: does Umar Johnson treat his donors with respect? 94% said no, 6% said yes. We had over 1,539 votes. I'll leave this up for like another 5 minutes. And then we reached our goal of 545 likes. We still have an outside chance to get to 600. If you are enjoying the show, we still got over 1,100 people in the building. Wow, goodness. If you're enjoying the show and you haven't hit that like button, take 2 seconds and hit it. It'll make a huge difference in the algorithm. Let's see if we can get to 600. Okay, let's go.
So we doing okay. PayPal sabotaged us, y'all. Let me tell you how PayPal sabotaged. I called PayPal before I started using PayPal for the school fundraising. And I didn't want to use PayPal, but lazy Negroes kept talking about why I just can't make an online donation.
Okay, so he's calling his donors what? Lazy Negroes. So he may not have used the term raggedy, but he sure did use the term lazy Negroes.
Take your lazy ass to the post office and get a stamp. So far, we raised $250,000. I'm gracious, but I'm not content because I know y'all got a lot more to give me than some $250,000. When Darren Wilson killed Michael Brown, white folks gave him $300,000 in 3 weeks for his defense. And Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to build a state-of-the-art school for black boys that y'all all know I need. And after 6 months, I only got $250,000. Trifling ass black people. I'm gonna call it like I say it. And I don't care if you get offended. We can handle that outside. We trifling. I should have been had that $2 million. I should have had that $2 million 30 days after I started the fundraiser on May the 20th. It don't make no sense. But y'all sure call me up when the school's messing with your son. Did you make a donation to my school? Oh, not yet. Bye. Click.
So he called his donors trifling ass black people, but that's not all. He didn't say raggedy, but he sure just said trifling ass black people.
That's the new Umar. You want some help with your son? Did I get a donation? No, I want to hear that. Mail the donation, then you call me back, and then I'll help you with your son. But you're not going to use me to fight white folks when your son shouldn't even have to put up with them in the first place.
So this is also criticism of people who did not donate to Umar, not just the people who donated because they're lazy and trifling and they didn't give him enough money, but also the people who didn't donate, who asked him, keep that in mind. Okay, hit the 1. I want people to really remember that. People who do not donate, he chastises them. He says, you call me up to help so that I can help you with your son. Did you donate yet? No. Bye. Hit the 1, because I'm gonna make a point. It's not just Umar disrespecting his donors, which we've already seen examples of that, but right here, he's disrespecting people who have not donated to him. Okay, remember that 1. Watch this.
We trying to buy the St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Virginia. Still available. I was in communication with the president about 3 days ago. He told me the school's still an option. But now they're trying to sell the school into pieces. Now they're trying to sell the student center. If they sell that student center, I don't even want the rest of the school no more because the student center is the best thing on the campus. Day before yesterday, I was in Port Gibson, Mississippi. The NAACP invited me down there because they have a school for sale, Chamberlain Hunt White Military Academy. Nice school, too. It's not as big as St. Paul's, but it'll work. So I'm just hoping y'all help me raise this $2 million before somebody buy them schools. That's what I'm hoping. Okay? So if you need the information to mail in a check or donation, if you brought a check or money order, make it payable to FDMG Academy. Make sure your name, address, and phone number is on your donation. I really don't want cash. I prefer to have a paper trail with your donation. But if you got to make it cash, you need to put it in a piece of paper, wrap it up. Do not give me raw cash. Put it in a piece of paper with your name, your phone number, your email address on it. Why? Because when we finally open up that school, everybody who helped me, whether they gave me $1 or $1 million, I want to make sure they get properly honored. We're going to have an honorary ceremony for the people who cared enough to help me build that school. I need everybody in here to come up with a dollar amount that you can afford to mail every month, and you mail it. I don't care if it's $10, $20, $50. You come up with what you can afford and you send me that. I'm getting sick and tired of getting texts on my cell phone for black folk talking about I've donated, like they done. You gave me $25 damn and you think you free now. We got to raise $2 million. Your ass ain't done.
I better get some more and some more and some more and some more until we hit the goal, brothers and sisters. That's the way we're going to have to do this.
Okay. Now, again, he's disrespecting and demeaning and talking poorly about people who donated. Hit the one. Okay. So, and I'm saying hit the one so that we can, from what Umar's about to say, again, it's not just people who donated that he disrespects. It's also people who did not donate that he disrespects. Okay. So I'm making a point. Here we go.
We also want to teach our children African spirituality. African spirituality. It's not a religious school. We're not into that. I don't want the kids coming back home to you because you're part of the problem. You got Willie Lynch all in your system. White Jesus on the wall, teaching your kids to be multicultural, daughter looking like Beyonce, a head full of blonde ass weed. What the hell I want her coming back home to you for? She stay with me and the boys stay with me in the dorms.
Donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. This is your school. This is our school, brothers and sisters. We need more money for renovations. We need more money for the grand opening. Come on, brothers and sisters. We acquired the school. We almost done renovating the school. Now we got to operate the school. Join the Silver Donor Club. Join the Bronze Donor Club. You ain't got $50 a month. You spend more than $50 a month on your nails. You spend more than $50 a month on entertainment.
Okay, this is all shaming people to donate, donors and non-donors. Okay, it's all about disrespect.
You spend more than $50 a month on your hair, on your Jordans. You ain't got $50 a month for black boys. Go to my website right now, drumarjohnson.com, and sign up to be a bronze donor. Sign up to be a bronze donor. Sign up to be a silver donor. You ain't got $100 a month for the future of black children. You ain't got $100 a month for the future of the African race. Become a gold donor. Become a platinum donor, brothers and sisters. Come on and support the school. Go to drumarjohnson.com and sign up right now, brothers and sisters. Hit that Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit that Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit that Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit that PayPal, FDMG Academy. Hit that PayPal, FDMG Academy. Hit that PayPal, FDMG Academy.
And number three, I do not chastise black people who have chosen not to donate to the FDMG campaign.
I'm sorry. Y'all see the point? That's why I told y'all hit the one. He chastises people who donated and he chastises people who did not donate. This guy, he lies so much, it's incredible. We almost done. Shout out to the Cookie Crush chat.
Some of you, I've helped you with your parents, your children. Plenty of you, I've helped you with your children. Plenty of you. And you never donated a dime. Some of you got helped on my free Black Parent teleconference.
See this? He's chastising people who did not donate.
Through the will of the Almighty and the blessing of the ancestors, I've helped a lot of you for free save your child, and you never donated $1 in 10 years. You never donated $5 in 10 years. Shame on you. All you black parents who got free help from me for the past 11 plus years, all you black parents I've helped for free the past 11 years, and you never donated a penny. Shame on you. The grand opening will not be for everybody. I'm telling you now. The FDMG Academy grand opening will not be for everybody. It will be for those who have donated and supported us, who have shared the donation information, who have shared on their pages the donation information.
I do not chastise black people who have chosen not to donate to the FDMG campaign.
I remember he did one lecture. I think it was down in Miami. He was like, yeah, I know Tariq is going to give some money to the Marcus Garvey Frederick Douglass School. As much money I done made him.
He better write a check too. Because I help sell a lot of Hidden Colors DVDs. I know I'm getting a check from him, but we're going to have an issue.
So it's okay to give Nike $250 for some new LeBrons. But you ain't got $250 for a new reality for black children.
If we had
Yes, donate to the school. $ FDMG School on your Cash App. 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 If you need to mail in your donation, make it payable to the FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. That is Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We appreciate $1, but we would rather have 10. We appreciate $20, but we would rather have 50. We appreciate $50, but we would rather have 100. We appreciate $100, but we would rather have 200. We're trying to renovate a school, brothers and sisters. We're trying to renovate a school. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not opening up a penny candy shop. We're not selling water ices, okay? We're not selling hot dogs. We're renovating a school. Do you understand? Do you understand? So please, brothers and sisters, give what you can. We're building an institution, okay? We're trying to give our children a chance that we didn't have. That's what we're doing. I don't have to pin it because I done already told you what it is. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG School. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG School. Before I continue with my message, thank you, Sister Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20, but thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
I have chastised Black people who have not donated to the FDMG campaign and have chosen to condemn or criticize the FDMG movement. That's the only.
Yeah, he's done that too, but he's also chastised people who donated and people who haven't donated, who haven't criticized him. See, that's the point.
I have chastised Black people who have not donated to the FDMG campaign and have chosen to condemn or criticize the FDMG movement. That's the only thing.
Listen, lady, you need to cut it out. So I'm so tired of this foolishness. These podcasters, just unacceptable. Excuse my dog. He up here. What is he doing? Oh, he being bad.
And I criticize. You have a right not to support me, but you do not have a right to not donate to a project and then try to condemn and criticize a project in which you have no investment.
That's ridiculous. I have a right to criticize a scammer, even though I didn't donate to the scammer. That's the reason why I didn't donate to you. I donated to Cuba the other day because he's actually doing something. You not doing nothing. You ain't done nothing. You living off of this money. Most of the money you've been living off of. And furthermore, real quick, and we got like maybe 3 minutes on this video. Real quick, there are also people who donated to Umar who later became critics of Umar. There's people inside the chat right now who donated to Umar who are critics of Umar. See? So, and people have the right whether they donated or not. That's not the point. The point is you're a scammer and you're unworthy of people supporting you like they have. You've been totally disrespectful, Umar, to your donors. You've been disrespectful to donors. You've been disrespectful to non-donors. That's the point. All right, let's finish up. Here we go.
So I don't know where you got your information, but you are grossly mistaken on the facts.
I found quite a few AI generated videos of you, Dr. Umar, where I can find that there's inconsistencies in the background and the birds chirping. So I've actually.
Well, they have AI videos of me with white women. Have you saw those?
No,
I've saw those because you fixing the tire.
I don't even. You know what? I'm gonna look for it now. Yeah, I gotta see that.
A whole bunch.
The brother was like, I love to see those.
Bunny rabbits. They have me in a field with like 50 white bunny rabbits, and me and some white women are
It is funny though.
Rolling all around in the grass.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's pretty good AI stuff. Well, we got one more break, Dr. Umar. This is the last one, and we're going to put you on hold just for a second. And Cedric, we see you holding, and Ron, that's not Raggedy Ron, is it?
Okay, we're almost done.
Okay, because I know Ron uses the word raggedy quite a bit. Guys, we'll be right back.
Said it today.
He did, didn't he? We'll be right back, guys.
Oh, that's funny.
Dr. Umar, take us home.
Yes, indeed. I would say this. We as Black people need to wake up and recognize something, irregardless of the outcome of the 2026 election, whether there's going to be another Republican or whether Kamala Harris finally gets the White House. this government is through doing anything for Black people, although they never really did. If the Democrats get the office, the only difference between what Trump is doing to Black people and what the Democrats are doing to Black people is the Democrats are going to do it with immigrants. There will be Chinese oppressing Black people. There will be East Indians oppressing Black people. There will be Arabs oppressing Black people. The same situation, but it will be done through people of color. My point is we got to come together and we got to organize. We got to rebuild our council of elders in every Black community. There needs to be a council of elders. We need to get serious about programming for our youth. Whatever happened to the rites of passage programs, we have to create the village. That is the solution. The reason why our children are out here doing anything and everything.
Yeah, he hasn't done any of this, though.
Is they have not been steered in the right direction by their elders, not just their parents, but the elders of the village.
I agree. I appreciate that. And, you know, just to your point, I took a look at the questions on the citizenship exam. And one of those questions says, what group of people were brought to America and as slaves? And of course, the answer is Africans and African Americans. I couldn't believe that was on the questionnaire. But already you're telling those that come to America to be citizens that we were the slaves. It's on the test. Yeah. Thank you, Doc.
What's the big deal? It is true. And it's not we, it was our ancestors, or at least some of us who have ancestors who were enslaved. What are you talking about? And I don't even understand it. It's like, you know, the black power talk, Black conscience, they always talk about we were slaves and they did this to us. But then because you see it on some paperwork, now it's a problem? What's the big deal?
Dr. Umar, what's next for you real quick so we know what to do?
I'm going to keep scamming.
Next thing for me, I'll be in Hampton, Virginia for Juneteenth on the 19th of June, and I'll be in Dothan, Alabama for Juneteenth on the 20th of June. But I'm really hoping everything goes as planned so I can be with you guys in Chicago at one of your universities.
Yeah, it's American history. That's the question that they ask. No big deal.
On April the 23rd. If anyone needs to reach me, they can text me by phone, 215-989-9858. Again, 215-989-9858. And to all my donors in Chicago and throughout Illinois, we just want to let you know that the FDMG Academy is completely done. Yes. And we're now tug-of-warring with the city of Wilmington to get our certificate of occupancy so we can plan for our grand opening celebration.
I love it.
What do you mean tug-of-war? What you talking about? He been saying about the boy, Umar, you a trip. He ain't listen, he ain't even announced that he put in for the certificate of occupancy. How you tug a warrant if you ain't even put it in yet?
Congratulations. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me say this as we get close to opening up the doors.
Okay, I'm gonna let this play out and then we'll close. Actually, let me do this real quick because I wanted to finish up with these super chats and I'll play this last little segment and then we'll be up out of here. Let me close out this poll as well. Does Umar Johnson treat his donors with respect? We had over 1,600 votes, over 1,600 votes. Does Umar Johnson treat his donors with respect? 94% said no, 6% said yes. Thanks to everyone who voted on the poll, okay? And then we got the 600 likes. Our goal was 500, so thank you guys for that as well. If you enjoyed the show and you haven't hit that like button, go and hit it right quick. I'd appreciate it, okay? Real quick, Tibbity Tabby says, you ain't broke $1 million? It was funny how Big Loon said that. It was hilarious. User 225 says, why do these conscious listeners talk like they're speaking in cursive like this? It's like they call in just to hear themselves speak. It's dumb, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of people do that. And I cut out a lot of the callers because a lot of the callers, when they called in, they didn't even have a question for Umar. They were just running their mouth. Ain't nobody want to hear all that. We want to hear Umar. Okay, not that we want to hear Umar, but we want to hear him lying. But that happens a lot. And Umar, he actually gets annoyed about that when people call in and they filibuster and they want to try to sound smart and intelligent. That happens a lot. It happens a lot. Thanks, User 225. Okay, I got this one earlier too. Thank you, D. Will. Umar ain't nothing but a descendant of Tommy. Let me stop. Miss Honey says he get called out on his lies into Umar. It's like, how dare you to call me out? He has that I said what I said attitude. Yeah, very arrogant. He has that I said what I said attitude. He's the type to piss on your feet and tell you it's right. Yeah. Umar doesn't like to be challenged. In particular, he doesn't like to be challenged by Black women. Women in general, but Black women in particular. Okay? He just does not like that. And he's so arrogant, he does not feel as if he should be challenged. And then when he is challenged and when he's called out, he either deflects or he starts to rage. In some cases, he does both. In this case, he didn't necessarily rage, but he did deflect. And then I showed you how he was lying, because he's chastised people who donated. He's chastised people who didn't donate. And furthermore, yeah, he's raised over $2 million. Whether you take the $400,000 purchase price or based upon what he said, it was closer to $700,000. If you want to take that figure, either way, at this point, Umar is over $2 million. Okay. But for whatever reason, he didn't rage on that this time. He did kind of keep his composure. But what he did was he lied and lied and lied. And then he deflected and deflected and deflected. But the arrogance is what makes him feel as if he shouldn't be called out. Okay? That's part of his undoing, too. Thanks, Miss Honey. Usually Defy says I'm a trifling. No, you're not. You're not. Okay. That sounds weird. Thank you, Usually Defy. He says justice for Sister Avante. Yeah, we need to get justice for Sister Avante and that $10, because that next time make it 20 was diabolical. It was horrible. I don't even think I had that in the first documentary. I'm gonna have it in the second one for sure. Because I remember I finished the documentary, I had uploaded it, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh man, I think I forgot that part. And I was like, oh man, I missed to put that. But it's gonna be in the next one for sure. Thank you, D. Will. And then Fire Taylor says, I'm a third generation from third generation from slavery. Yeah. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. Again, it depends on how late your parents and your grandparents had, how late your grandparents had, or your parents had you, and then how late your grandparents had your parents. It could happen. I can look on my family tree to see how far back it goes for me. I want to say it's probably about 6 generations on my dad's side, if memory serves me correctly. I think it's about 6. It's interesting because it's really not that long. I mean, it's a lot closer than what we kind of think. We tend to think in terms of slavery. I mean, and it went on close to 400 years, but it has, relative to that 400 years, it hasn't been that long since slavery was over with. And even after it was abolished, it was still taking place, and then even with the sharecropping and other stuff, it was kind of like a form of slavery. Anyway, yeah, third generation. Boy, that's really close. Yeah. Thanks, Fi Taylor, for the super chat. And then Michael says, Snow Bunny video before we close. I was thinking about it, but I don't want to do it. I have one already queued up. It's a short one because I got to get up all. Oh no, this is the wrong one anyway. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find the first version. Yeah, here it go right here. Yeah, I'll do it for you all because y'all, I always give y'all what you want. I love y'all. Thank you for hanging out. I wish I could do this more, and we can cover other topics and just get together and have a good time. And I'm hoping that the Lord will put me in a position soon enough to where I have more time to hang out with you all. Ike says his dad was born in 1937. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Michael. Yeah, thanks for tuning on in too. Yeah, you right, Allison. Y'all deserve it. and truth be told, Umar deserve it too. All right. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Also, thanks to the mods for handling business, and thanks to everyone. If you sent in super chats or super stickers, thank you so much. You guys have blessed me, and I always I'm so appreciative, and I don't take it for granted. And thank you guys so very, very much. I don't plan a live stream until Monday, unless Umar goes live. I do have another video though that I've already have prepared. I was going to do it as a live stream. I'll tell you what, I will have that available for you guys, everyone, on Friday. It'll be like a live stream. I probably won't even be able to be in the chat room. It'll just depend on how my schedule works out. But the chat room will be open. So if you guys want to get together and hang out and watch that, it's about an hour long. You're welcome to do so. Okay, that'll give us, something for you guys, something to get into. I'll try to get into the chat room if I have time. And then Saturday, Sunday, I don't plan on live streaming, but on Monday I plan on live streaming, unless Umar goes live on his Instagram page. Okay, yeah. All right. Thank you guys again for tuning on in, and as we always do.
Oh my gosh, so you're fancy, huh?
Yeah, Black community activist. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I ain't played this in so long. Oh man.
It's me and you tonight. Snow bunny. Moving on the bar. Everything's alright. Got that smooth soul feel. No, that's dancing till the Lord. With my snow bunny love. Been party by the night. See her eyes shine. She's my snow bunny piece. In the winter light, so she's my sweet love supreme.
Yeah.
Touch my nose, this lover's got is so raw.
Yeah, he mentioned this. He mentioned this, so that gives us the right. Here we go. Thanks, Francisco. Thank you. What up, Jesus Christ? I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope you're all right, though. Yeah.
See her eyes shine, she's my snow bunny piece. In the winter light, so she's my sweet love supreme. Touch my nose, this lover's got is so raw. Make you lose step and I rip out of control. It's me and you tonight, snow bunny. Moving on the bar. Everything's alright.
Let's shout out to the front. Thanks for stopping.
See her eyes shine, she's my snow bunny piece.
Crush.
In the winter light, so she's my sweet love supreme.
Crush.
Touch my nose, this lover's got is so raw. Make you lose step and I rip out of control. It's me and you tonight, snow bunny. Moving on the bar. Everything's alright.
Oh man.
No, that's dancing till the Lord. With my snow bunny love.
Thanks, Allison. Thanks, Alan. Yeah.
Eyes shine, she's my snow bunny piece. In the winter light, so she's my sweet love supreme.
Thanks, Michael.
Touch my nose, this lover's got is so raw. Make you lose step and I rip out of control.
Let's go, little princess.
It's me and you tonight, snow bunny.
Yeah, if you need me to get you a chair, let me know. I'll get you one.
Got that smooth soul feel. No, that's dancing till the Lord with my snow bunny.
All right. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. Yeah, I haven't played that in a very long time, but since Umar mentioned it, and Michael requested it, I went ahead and did it. All right. Thank you guys again. Everyone inside the Cook Correct Chat. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay. Again, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Okay. I just wish I had time to do it more. I had such a good time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll talk with you guys very, very soon. Again, I'll have something up for you guys tomorrow. In fact, I'll set it up right after I'm done here. And it'll be probably around the same time we started this live stream. I may not be in the chat room, but it'll give you guys a chance to get together and hang out. Okay. Thank you guys again. Also, thank you to everyone who supported with the super chats and the super stickers. Thank you guys sincerely. I appreciate all of the support and love y'all. Y'all take care. Peace.